On today's Pardon My Take, Jameis Winston. We got him. He came to the office for a full day. We've been sitting on it for about 3 weeks now, just waiting for this interview to come out. It was everything we wanted and more.
I love Jameis.
It was the best.
I love Jameis. A little bit of something for everybody in this interview.
Yes. So incredible interview to kick off Super Bowl week. We are here in Las Vegas. We're going to do Who's Back of the Week. We're going to talk about Kliff Kingsbury to the Commanders. We're going to talk about Max being the grossest person in the world to sit next to in an airplane. And then at the end of the show, because it's the first Monday that we've had without football to talk about, we will have Max and Memes recap the Grammys. So they're in charge right now of distilling the Grammys and giving us everything that happened. Who says we can't do everything, right?
Right.
We do it all. And we do it all because we're brought to you by our friends at Supercuts. Want a free haircut after this year's big game? If the big game's final score meets or beats 75 points, you could win a free haircut at Supercuts. Why 75? Because Supercuts has been cutting America's hair since 1975, and 75 just so happens to be the highest ever score of the big game. So we're looking for the over on the Supercuts high score, 75 points. I went to Supercuts on Saturday, made sure they got nice and fresh for Vegas. Went to Supercuts on Ashland.
Same.
Supercuts, they know what to do with your hair. Okay, you go in, you tell them, boom, got the beard trimmed up, all from Supercuts. So thank you to Supercuts. Head to supercutshighscore.com to register. You can see it behind us as well. Supercuts High Score, and register. Read the terms and conditions, and for eligibility, that's supercutshighscore.com to register. It's basically you're getting a free Supercuts haircut if we hit 75 points or more. That's fun. We all love points. We all love looking fresh. We all love Supercuts. The perfect marriage and everything here. So 75 points or more since they started in 1975. And go right now to supercutshighscore.com to register. That's supercutshighscore.com to register today. Okay, let's go. Welcome to Pardon My Take. Today is Monday, February 5th, and boys, Jameis Winston episode.
Very excited about this. Jameis is the best.
He's the best.
He hung out for about 4 hours?
Longer
at
than
the
that.
Barstool office, maybe longer
7.
than that. We played some basketball with him. He put us through some drills.
We got some videos coming. Yeah,
PMTV coming out on Thursday. He ate some meals with Donnie, I believe.
It was the hardest thing to have to sit on this interview because he came 3 weeks ago, and we knew that if we showed that he was in the office, people would be like, we want the interview right now, which totally understand because I wanted to post the interview right away. But we're like, Super Bowl week, another white whale checked off the list. We did not sing Standing on the Corner to him. That was the only regret I had.
Sorry. Yeah. I mean, Big Cat's right. We've sat on a lot of really hard stuff before, and this was definitely the hardest and the longest we've had to sit on something.
Yes. You get it, Hank? It was a sex joke. Addicted to sex? A sex problem? But it's an awesome interview. So get excited. It's going to be great. We got some stuff we got to talk about before.
We do.
What do we want to do first?
Well, we can let the speculation begin.
Okay, yeah, let's talk about this. Kliff Kingsbury to the Commanders.
So per Adam Schefter, let the speculation begin. Kliff Kingsbury coached Caleb Williams last season. Williams was a standout quarterback at Gonzaga High School in D.C. The Commanders currently hold the number 2 overall pick and are in striking distance. So per Adam Schefter, let the speculation begin.
Scary statement.
I'm going to speculate so hard. I'm going to theorize. I'm going to postulate all over the place. I'm going to contemplate, and it's going to be great. And the fact of the matter is that this is a trade that could happen between the Commanders and the Bears, which could tear this podcast apart. Mm-hmm. That's one thing that definitely could happen, and Hank's very happy about that. Mm-hmm. It'd be a lot more vacation time for you, Hank. Mm-hmm. It's also a good possibility that given the draft history and the trade history that we both have in our franchises past, we might both fuck this up.
Well, I would say I would make the guess right now that the Commanders have already fucked this up because no one has overplayed their hand more than the Commanders have already overplayed their hand. They had Caleb Williams' dad being a source to Colin Cowherd earlier in the week, retracted, but at first he was like, I'm hearing out of Caleb Williams' camp that he doesn't want to play in Chicago.
You think the Commanders told him to do that?
No, I'm saying
Colin
Caleb
Cowherd?
Williams. I think Caleb Williams probably wants to play. I'm saying Caleb Williams' dad overplayed that hand.
Got it.
Then they got Kliff Kingsbury overplaying that hand where you get the connection. It's very clear that they want Caleb Williams. So I'm fine with trading the number 1 pick for all of the picks.
Okay, so
I want all of the picks. You guys have overplayed your hand to the point where it's like obvious that you're lusting for this guy.
I am.
And that's a bad spot to be in a negotiation 3 months out.
Okay, so I've got the draft value chart right here.
Throw it out.
Per Jimmy
I want
Johnson.
all the picks.
I agree. Throw it out because we have the second overall pick.
Well, you know what?
You guys can basically, because if you're not going to take Caleb 1, you can take whoever you're going to take anyways at 2, right?
Fuck the draft value chart. I wrote down a few things that I would like, and we can start the negotiation.
Okay.
Here.
No.
1, Terry McLaurin.
No.
The pick back for Montez Sweat.
No.
I want the Commanders' new name to be the Junior Bears, and I also
Yeah,
want that would be cool.
I'm
right?
into the Junior Bears. Yeah, the Junior
Somebody's
Bears.
like, oh, that's the Cubs. No, I want Junior Bears.
Junior Bears is good.
And then I want Tyrese Maxey on the Bulls.
Okay.
So
I'm going to
that's where I'm
authorize.
starting my negotiation.
Okay, I'm going to authorize Tyrese Maxey and the Junior Bears.
I did hear it was very funny. The Ben Johnson fallout was a big time he said situation where Ben Johnson claimed there was reports that Ben Johnson thought they weren't football guys, they were too much basketball guys, and then the Commanders were like he didn't interview well and wanted too much money.
Yeah.
And everyone's finger pointing. But I like the idea that he walked in and was like, it smells like basketball in here. I don't like this.
So I will authorize Tyrese Maxey
Okay,
on behalf of Josh Harris. That's fine. We'll trade him.
I would take
We'll
Joel
throw it in.
Embiid,
We'll
but
throw
he's
him in.
hurt.
We'll throw him in.
He's hurt. I don't want him. Bum knee.
He could be a nice piece.
Yeah.
So we'll do both of those, and then I'm also looking through who do you want from the Devils?
The guy who Frank said he broke his neck.
The
Jack
guy that
Hughes.
broke it. Jack Hughes?
Yeah, I'll take Jack Hughes.
We'll give you Jack Hughes and Tyrese Maxey, and we'll toss in Joel Embiid. And I would be willing to...
And the first pick, by the way, the first pick in the draft for the next 3 years.
I would be willing to also throw in the Montez Sweat pick because that's a nice humiliation thing where it's like, oh, we gave you this pick.
Yeah.
Actually, no, we got him for free. I'm going to give you the second overall pick. No to Terry McLaurin.
The next year's
I will
first,
authorize
the year after that's first.
the second round pick, which really all by the draft value chart, all the Commanders would need to do by this, since we do have the second pick, it would actually be an overpay if we just threw in pick 34.
Well, guess what? You're overpaying. You're overpaying because you guys have made it very clear you want Caleb Williams, and that was the dumbest thing you can
Now,
do.
what if hypothetically, there was a guy by the name of Eli Manning that got drafted a while ago. You remember him?
Yeah.
So Eli, he actually got drafted by the Chargers, which is crazy. And then he went up there, took a picture, did the whole thing. And then his dad told the Chargers, he's not going to play down in San Diego. We're going to have to work some sort of trade out here. Now, what if Caleb Williams' dad, who seems to also have no problems going in front of the press, what if he says to the Bears, my son's not going to play
What's
for
Caleb
you?
Williams' dad's name?
I'm not sure.
What's his last name? Williams? Oh, so
first
it's
name's
not
Williams.
Manning?
His first name's
Okay,
Williams.
so then we can just throw that out.
Okay.
Because, Archie Manning he's the shadow commissioner. That's
is.
why that happened.
That's a fact.
And the other time was John Elway because he's going to play for the Yankees. Is Caleb Williams going to go play for the Yankees?
He might.
Okay. Well, maybe he should start throwing some baseball. Learn baseball, buddy.
That would actually be great if somehow they got in touch with the learners and they said, hey, we need the Nationals to also draft Caleb. We know that he's not a baseball player, but just draft him.
Listen, it's going to be an interesting couple months of speculation. I just know that the hand has been overplayed by the Commanders as quickly as it could possibly be played.
I will overplay. If there's anything you know about me, it's that I overplay every hand that I have.
Yeah.
So I'm happy to deal with this one.
And on top of all of that, a certain friend of the program who sometimes shares thoughts with Henry Lockwood has said that he actually thinks Drake May might be the better quarterback.
Interesting.
He's been getting in my ear about that.
Who's this guy?
I don't know. He's got a dog avatar. He looks like Hank.
Oh,
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
so
yeah.
basically,
He's
Hank.
a Bears fan.
Now I am.
Great takes.
Yeah, great
Great
takes.
takes. Great takes.
I am a little concerned about having a quarterback named Caleb potentially.
Well, if you get
quarterbacks named Caleb, they're funny guys and they're good glue guys.
You want morale.
If you want a supervisor morale, if you want them to interview your other star players with their fat friend in the podcast with them,
Yeah.
I think that would be great. But I don't know about a quarterback named Caleb.
Well, just go with the UNC quarterback.
Yeah, would you rather have a quarterback named Caleb or a quarterback that went to UNC?
That was kind of awkward that Drake May and Sam Howell were sitting next to each other at the Duke UNC game.
And Duke's
a joke, by the way. Duke is done.
Drake May is so much taller.
Yeah. Duke is done forever.
Yeah.
They're a joke.
I watched that game for the first half. I was like,
It's a joke. They're a joke.
So,
well, if you want Terry McLaurin,
I said no.
wouldn't you want Marvin Harrison Jr. and then you have a great wide receiver core?
You
and
stay out of this.
I'm just asking.
That's a good question, Hank. Because
stay out of this.
If you're trading the number 1 overall pick, then I would assume that you would not want to take that guy first overall. You could still get whoever you wanted with the 2nd overall pick.
Yeah, I want I want as many weapons. I want everything. We're gonna get everything.
Weapons for Justin.
No, for whoever we take number 2.
Got it.
Who might be the better quarterback?
This is just going to be,
according to Tom Fornelli.
It's not going to be good for the podcast.
No,
it's not.
Disagreed.
But maybe it's going to be great. Hank's just looking for anybody else to take heat today because he's a little bit nervous about his special little show that's coming up on Tuesday, and I understand that.
But be honest for a second. Like, if the Commanders do trade for Caleb Williams, they are going to have to overpay at this point. They have overplayed their hand. Like, it's the one thing that happens with drafts is if it's very obvious one team wants some guy and the Bears are sitting there at 1, like. Yeah, okay, now you have to pay a ton for it.
And you know what? Like,
it's not going to be a regular 2 to 1.
I'm expecting, unless he does pull an Eli Manning, I am expecting a little bit of an overpay.
Eli Manning was a Manning.
Right.
The Mannings run everything.
I mean, Caleb Williams was asking people for like equity in the team.
Those were ML football accounts. If Caleb Williams gets drafted 1 overall by the Bears, he's going to be playing for the Bears.
Okay, it's a possibility that he might not, though. That's all I'm saying. It's a possibility.
What? Doing what?
By just
sitting
saying,
out?
Yeah.
I just don't see it just doesn't make sense.
It's probably not going to happen, but
it's a lot of money.
But it could, and it's in terms of an overpay. Yeah, there's going to be an overpay there because number 1, Caleb Williams he's been projected for the last 3 years as being this franchise-changing quarterback. So there will be a little bit of an overpay built into it. But at least knowing that we've got high picks in the 2nd round, we have the Montez Sweat pick. To me, as long as it's not multiple firsts.
I need at least 2 firsts.
I've heard on shows before people talk about if you could, there was no salary cap or you could start a team tomorrow.
Speculate for
you
me.
would take Patrick Mahomes first and do whatever it takes to get Patrick Mahomes because he's that much more valuable to your franchise.
Yeah.
So don't you think it'd be worth it if you could get a guy like that?
I'd say
you have to pay a lot.
I'd say if we're getting a top 5 quarterback or a guy that would evolve into a top 5 quarterback in the NFL, I would say that a little bit of an overpayment is actually an underpayment.
All the picks. On every pick for the rest of the time.
So we're gonna
would you rather a Pixel or
all the picks for the rest of the time. I take all the picks for the rest of the time. All the picks for the rest of the time.
Got it.
That's how I'd negotiate.
Commander Caleb, it might happen. I don't know. It is weird how Kliff. He was going to be the OC for the Raiders, and that seemed like it was a done deal. And then he backed out of that the last second, and next thing you know, he's going to DC. It's almost like he knew something was in order. So I would imagine that something is cooking.
More logical thing is the Commanders are desperate to try to get Caleb Williams, so they're like, we got to get Kliff Kingsbury and overpay for him. Wouldn't that be more
Nathaniel Hackett?
Wouldn't that be more logical? I mean, you're thinking about it only that benefits you. Wouldn't it also be logical that the Commanders are like, we need to figure out a way to get Caleb Williams. Let's pay Kliff Kingsbury a ton of money to come here.
Yeah, which came first, chicken or the egg? I don't know. No, I don't think anybody knows what happened, but I would assume that either we overpaid Kliff like a motherfucker, which we probably don't need to do because he's still collecting that fat check from the Cardinals, right? The one where he said he was going to go live in Thailand for 9 years. So I don't know if we're overpaying. We might be, but if we're not, then I have to think that he had it in the back of his head that something's going to go down in D.C. that's not going to go down in Vegas.
Yeah, I just don't think anything has been decided yet. So I don't know how, Josh. I mean, he's a basketball guy, so he probably doesn't know how football.
This is all speculation. We're just speculating. Adam Schefter told us to let the speculation begin. This is all pure speculation, but I do know that I would be very happy with Caleb Williams. He would make my little heart grow 3 sizes that day.
You have to pay a lot for him.
Okay.
A lot. He's probably going to suck anyway.
We'll keep this going.
If he ends up
imagine that. Then we got Kliff, hot young offense coordinator.
Yeah, because
we got
the USC
new owner.
Was
we got
awesome
a leader,
this year with Kliff, right?
Leader of men.
USC was awesome this year with Kliff.
Caleb was pretty good.
Notre Dame game.
Yeah, Caleb
we could play this game.
Caleb
I'm basically taking everything that all the Justin Fields stands use against me when I say I want Caleb Williams, and I'm just going to weaponize it back at you.
I've never.
So people say like, "Oh, the Notre Dame game." It's like I don't give a fuck about one game in college.
I've never once said anything bad about Kliff Kingsbury. Don't look it up. But I'm whatever it takes, and I would be very, very happy and very excited for a breath of fresh air with Washington football if that happened.
Okay, other things. We're in Vegas. It's the Super Bowl. Someone told me that I say Soup Bowl on Twitter. Do I say Soup Bowl? I think I say Super Bowl correctly.
Soup or bowl?
I say soup. Oh, let me find the tweet. It was a very odd thing. I don't think I've ever. Now I'm like very.
By the way,
he said, "Can you please stop saying Soup Bowl? It's 2 syllables. Super Bowl. You like your soup? We get it. Maybe he's talking to you. But Jesus Christ, you talk on the air for a living. Learn to say simple English words for fuck's sake."
No, we won't.
I'm pretty sure I say Super Bowl.
Super Bowl. It's a pretty easy thing to say. Super Bowl.
Phone.
Super
game.
Bowl.
Oh yeah, that's right. So
the big game.
So the legal rumors are true. You do get sued every time you say Super Bowl.
Yep.
Without the NFL, without Roger Goodell coming over and signing it in blood, then you are not allowed to say Super Bowl. So good thing that Barstool Sports is worth $1 now, Roger. So you won't be able to get shit out of us.
Super Bowl. We're here in Vegas for the big game. I'm starting to think about switching to the 49ers.
Join me.
I'm getting the thoughts in my head.
So I put in the biggest bet of my life on the 49ers, and I feel like we can stop Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, see, I say this every time, though.
We can be the ones to do it.
And we have Chris Berman coming on Wednesday, and we talked it out a little bit about just how stupid you feel when you lose money going against Patrick Mahomes. The last time I bet on Patrick Mahomes in a playoff game, I believe, was the Super Bowl against the Bucs.
Mm-hmm.
So
Super Bowl.
I might be screwed no matter which door I choose.
Listen, we can do it together. This is it. This is like, okay, Josh couldn't do it. Lamar can't do it. We can do this. We can be the ones to stop him.
Hank, you're thinking of it too.
Yeah, do it, Hank.
Yeah, I already put the bet in, and I can't cash out in Vegas, so I will be taking everything in and making a decision on Sunday morning.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, like, this would be us against Patrick Mahomes
if you guys
and Taylor Swift. And we are really good at disappointing women, and we have an opportunity to disappoint like 1 billion of them at the same time by the Chiefs losing this game.
Okay, well, story developing.
Let the speculation begin.
Begin. What side we're going to... I'm sure everyone was dying to know what side we're going to bet on as a podcast.
Well, there's... I think it's like 75% of the money and the bets have come in on the Chiefs.
Yeah, that was just me just hammering the Chiefs right after the Ravens loss. But yeah, we'll see. Story developing. The other news we got: Joe Embiid officially needs surgery.
Yeah,
he's got a knee flap.
Yeah, knee flap meniscus. That's not a good injury. So they said unknown timetable for recovery. I did check Pro Football Dr. David Chow's timeline a couple days ago. He said if it's the surgery that we think he needs, it's unlikely he's going to return.
What?
Yeah, but it's football, not basketball.
It's football. Yeah, football guy, not a basketball guy.
Yeah.
Josh Harris would be able to tell you when he's coming back.
So he might not. When could he earliest return? Well, it has to be before the conference finals, right? Because he's not going to be in the conference finals.
It'd probably be after they played Jokic.
Right.
Let me see.
Max, how you feeling about this?
I don't know. I'm all over the place.
Okay.
Wow, what else is going on?
Should we just talk about the other thing?
No. I'm sorry. I want to update this here. He said recovery could easily leak into playoffs, so he could be back at some point in the playoffs.
I think he'll be back. But now it's worried about getting there.
Oh,
without Embiid, maybe he's just gonna have to score 50 every
maybe
day.
He's the one who's keeping you from getting to the conference finals. Maybe. Yeah, Bell to Ass tour continues.
Yeah, and Pat Bev. All right, let's get to let's.
Max is on edge for other reasons. So we flew to Vegas today. Mm-hmm. Max was coming from New York. We all flew from Chicago. I had to sit next to. Well, let's just say this, PFT. Let's set the table this way. I had to sit next to what I thought was the most annoying person to ever sit next to on a plane.
Who's that?
Henry Lockwood.
Yeah.
He was just hitting me and anxious. He like elbowed me when I fell asleep before
dramatic
before the flight even took
heard.
off.
Yeah,
and he took off his shoes instantly.
And gross.
Was hitting me. Was like trying to tickle me. Was like moving my food around. Just an annoying pest. He had that annoying energy of like I'm about to do like this right now because he's about to do his stand up. So I would say he's the most annoying person to ever sit next to you on a plane.
So I was trying to talk to you to get some advice, and you literally like, don't fucking speak to me.
Yeah.
And then just put your headphones on and turn.
I was trying to take a nap.
So the first time I ever sat next to Hank on an airplane, we were taking off, and this is probably 2016, 2017, and I'm sitting next to him, and then he just starts puking all over himself.
Yeah.
And yogurt's coming up. He's trying to catch it in his hands. It's splattering everywhere. And I was like, Hank, what's going on, man?
I get anxious
on flights. And usually I get really high, but I didn't get high enough before this flight. So I puked my Go-Gurt all over the seat.
That happened today, too, actually. So, yeah.
And then,
facts are adding
up. Then I rode over to the hotel in the same car as Hank. The first thing Hank said was, you guys take your shoes off on a flight, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, no, never. I never take my shoes off on a flight. Was this my living room?
No, we have breaking news. Breaking news. Adam Schefter has got his brain all scrambled. He just tweeted, Chiefs and Commanders both have now arrived in Las Vegas. The week of Super Bowl 58 officially is underway.
Let's go. We did it. We made it.
The 49ers just not a participant. Yeah, so Hank is not a great flyer, but he was just an annoying pest, but I still love him. He just was touching me too much. I don't like you being touching me.
The shoes off on a flight is a wild move.
Yeah, and I get touched all day.
I was like,
my kids touch me constantly.
I like to sleep on flights. It's way easier to sleep with my shoes off. I took a shower before the flight. I put on fresh pair of clean socks. What's the problem with
you have to understand,
off?
Hank. I live like day to day. I'm like constantly in a state of like I need a nap so bad, and then someone comes and just like hits me in the balls or like, oh, Daddy, wake up. And then I got on a plane. I was like, ooh, I can nap. And I had my other kid just fucking smashing me every time I took a nap.
No one wants to see your socks. No one wants to smell your feet on a plane, though.
You can't smell my feet. They're clean socks.
I smell them. They were so bad.
Yeah,
that's a lie.
Hank thinks that he's the only person on God's green earth with good-smelling feet.
Yeah. Okay, but so he was the worst person to ever sit next to, right?
Apparently not, Big Cat. I'm glad you brought this up. I got a text because we were watching the Grammys go down here, and Miley, by the way, fantastic, great job, Miley, great outfits. I was taking a picture of the screen, and Max was standing in front of the screen, so I took the picture. I tweeted it out, and I got a text message from a very good friend of mine, friend of the program, Diana Rossini from The Athletic. So
she's a reporter. She's a report.
She actually did report this.
Yeah.
I complimented her reporting because it was so detailed. Apparently, she sat next to Max on the flight. She wasn't sure it was Max though, which I'm gonna ding Diana for that, for not immediately recognizing Max. Tough to miss guy. But she said, "Does Max live in New York?" Because I sat next to a guy in a plane who was really
get on the couch. Get on the couch.
Come over here, Max. I got to read this from the start.
This is
okay. All right. It's okay. It's okay.
PFT brought this up right before.
Well, she's a reporter. I'm reading a report. We read Adam Schefter's report.
We got Chad, our audio guy. He's gonna make sure you're set. You're screaming in the mic. You're good.
Okay.
PFT brought this up right before. It's
well,
like
she texted me right before we started, and
he won't tell me what it is.
The text just kept.
Well, now he's gonna tell you.
I know, but now we're just doing it live. Like this is.
Well, no, this is taped.
This is so bad.
You edit the podcast.
That's true.
I ate a burrito.
The anxiousness, it's good. Like I've been very anxious for the past couple weeks, and seeing Max this anxious is actually making me feel a lot
Notice
better.
he didn't touch me at all?
Let's get to it. Let's get to it here.
Stop! Okay? Stop touching me.
I'm excited for Vegas.
Does Max live in?
No, this is like this is like a nightmare. This is a nightmare.
Okay, well this is.
So you sat next to Diana on the plane, not realizing that you're a gross human being, and now she's reporting.
Exclusive report from Diana Rossini of the Athletic. I sat next to a guy in a plane who is really big. Is Max big?
Yes. Confirmed, yes.
Haha, yeah, he was in New York this weekend. That was me. She said, he's disgusting. He ate his food on the plane like a monster, was basically breathing heavy and smelling terrible. Don't tell him I said it, but I was so grossed out. Ask him if he sat aisle row. If so, he farted during his naps. I was texting with NFL people the entire flight. He had a chance to see super private convos. He missed out. He was sitting right next to me, ripping farts during the nap. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 P's on ripping. He is one of the most disgusting human beings I've ever sat next to. Ask him if he scarfed some burrito sandwich before we took off. Is that you, Max?
You ate a burrito right before you took off?
I was really late getting to the airport. The fact that we're putting this on the show is bullshit.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Okay, wait.
You sat next to a reporter. She's reporting.
She goes on. He's definitely single. But then cute face, by the way.
Oh.
So you have a cute face, Max. And also, no, he's not single.
Oh, man.
He
might be after this.
He was completely in his own world. He smelled of hungover. He's also very unhealthy. 2 sodas.
You had 2 sodas?
He listens to his music way too loudly. I'm very concerned about Max's overall health. He was blasting techno.
These are all facts because he hasn't disputed anything.
He was farting.
I didn't know. Well, obviously, I didn't know about the farting in my sleep.
Oh, she apologized.
To be fair, we were sitting next to the farting, I guess.
Okay.
I can't really defend. But, like, we were sitting directly next to the bathroom, which is, like, the worst. The bathroom smells.
Yeah, it could have been the bathroom. She said, I don't want to be mean-spirited.
Thanks. We're starting off here, Diana.
But I changed poopy diapers 6 to 8 times a day, and his fart smelled like my kid's diaper genie.
Oh, no.
I recently read about a guy who got kicked off a plane for farting so much, and I texted my husband and said, I want this guy kicked off, swear to God.
Oh, no.
That's an exclusive report.
I did not. I guess I was sleeping. Like, how are you supposed to know that when you're sleeping? Like,
yeah.
I mean, well, just maybe don't eat a burrito before you get on a flight.
So this is what happened. I woke up at a 1:10 flight. I woke up at 11:15. Panic. Absolute panic. And it's a 5.5 hour flight from New York. No shower.
Oh, no.
Literally, like,
booze coming out of your pores.
Booze coming out of it was a late night last night. And then I would have gone like 14 hours without eating. Like, I needed to get something. I go, there's lines out the ass for all the food places. There was Mexican place that was the only one that didn't have a line.
He's like, please don't eat this before you get on a plane.
Correct. That I could go get food and still make the flight.
It could have been any of us.
It was my only choice.
And you just ended up with next to a reporter.
Then you spent
that was your only mistake.
Yeah, you spent the whole flight trying to chase whatever you did last night, listening to techno, farting your dreams away.
Like, oh my God, I hope that I'm not sitting next to a journalist.
Yeah, like, how am I supposed to know if I was like? How am I supposed to know that I was farting in my sleep? I was sleeping.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's like, it's honestly a valid point.
You kept saying, like, oh, you have to know what you did. You have, like, how am I supposed to know that?
That's true.
How am I supposed to know that?
I was she sleeping. Did not say anything about a boner. No.
Oh.
She's my enemy.
We're gonna have her on Combine.
Or you're also my enemy.
And you'll get to refute this report face to face.
No, he didn't refute any of it.
Anything.
He has not.
Oh, so you're saying she deserves like an award?
Yeah,
for
no.
excellent
PFT,
reporting.
you were reading it. I was watching his face. 2 sodas, techno, facts.
Yeah.
Everything else is facts. So the farting is facts.
When you're hungover. Yes, I had a late night last night. I wanted, like, a Diet Coke feels good.
2 of them.
I also had the Mexican soda. The Mexican sodas are good.
I fall asleep on every flight. I always,
No, you
I feel like,
you
I
did
feel like
this
I'm
one.
a
You kept
creature
me
on
up.
flights, and one of my biggest fears is, like, I'll wake up after falling asleep for like a 5-hour flight and be like, this person next to me is probably texting people and being like, this person is an absolute.
That's
creature.
what I had to deal with today with you.
So that's my biggest. What happened to you is actually my biggest
this
fear
is the
in life.
worst thing that could possibly happen to you.
Yeah.
Like, no one is.
What about the flight crashing?
This is worse.
Oh, you know what this is? This is karma for Max hoping that we crash our plane.
That's true.
This is karma.
Hey, Max, I hope you had a really good flight.
Yeah. I hope you had a
good.
really good flight where you didn't fart at all. Damn.
But, like, I wish that I could, because I have zero recollection of a single fart. Like, to my knowledge, I had 0 farts. But if I was sleeping, like, I could have been, like, I think the fact that
the burrito doesn't help the case.
Yeah,
No,
burrito's
no,
not a
no.
choice.
Like,
No,
was he
and-
farting? What did he
Correct.
eat? Beans.
2 sodas.
Yeah.
A little carbonation in the gut.
2 sodas. Like,
And you woke up first thing. Probably didn't
a
have time.
5.5
to
hour
shit.
flight. Let's talk, like, 2 sodas is not that big.
You could have used the fart.
How many
pants.
times on a football Sunday, how many sodas goes through that gambling game?
Well, she just said, "I'm worried about him. He's not healthy."
Getting upset.
Yeah.
2 sodas.
looks like
Yeah, what you guys did? I've never had 2 sodas over 5
Never,
hours.
Never.
It's 5
I
hours.
always stop at 1 because I don't want to fart.
You know what, Max? This might be good though. This might just be like a kick in the ass. Like
Fuck
time
off.
to get healthy again.
All right, Max.
Fuck off.
You go back to your seat. We'll talk to you for the Grammys.
I've done nothing for the Grammys.
Max has been stressed out about this report because she just kept
You can
sending.
see it too. Those sweatpants, those farts just fucking escape those.
She just kept sending me more and more information about the flight, and he was just sweating.
It also, like, we were next to the bathroom, like where we were sitting.
Yeah.
It couldn't have been closer.
Why
to
didn't
the
you just
bathroom.
go take a shit?
I didn't have to shit.
Was it
What?
just you 2 in the aisle?
No, I was in the aisle. She was in the also middle seat. She can't get a better seat.
Athletic.
Yeah,
Fair point. Fire
She
back.
can't get a,
Yeah.
Fire
But
back.
if
Max.
you're that close, you can feel them. Like, she could probably feel
Oh,
them.
shit.
Yeah.
But the bathroom did smell. Like the bathroom, there could have been other smells that were contributing to this. No, everyone knows if you sit next to the bathroom on an airport, like you're fucked. Like we were
True, that's
directly
true.
next to it.
True.
Like it was like there was no aisle to the left of us. It was just bathroom.
Max is doing the Fauci right now. Where It's
Yeah.
like, what if this crazy new type of disease that emanated from Wuhan wasn't actually from the lab, but it was from me?
No, I don't. The farting, I don't.
In those
it
sweatpants,
does
too.
make sense.
Let me smell your sweatpants.
All right, so Max,
The farting does
Let me
make
smell your
sense.
sweatpants.
But I do think, like the sitting next to the bathroom definitely contributed to the bad smell.
did you think about getting up to go use the bathroom to fart in the bathroom? Because I've done that
Not
before.
even once. I didn't have to. I didn't even know that I had
He
to
didn't
fart.
have to fart. He farted in his sleep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
to Max's
He woke up
knowledge,
To
feeling
my
great.
knowledge,
You didn't fart at all.
to my knowledge, I didn't have to fart. I didn't have to shit. I didn't get up to piss or anything.
So
You
the
do not-
jury's out. Like, it's not. Nothing's
Yeah.
proven.
You
This
know
is
what?
he said, she said.
It also could maybe
But, like,
Ate a burrito.
maybe she was farting and she's looking for someone to pin it on, and she's got Max.
He ate a burrito before getting on a 5-hour flight. He farted. Look at him. That's a fart. He's a
think-
walking fart.
I kind of want to take Max's side in this and think maybe she had a very unhealthy breakfast.
No,
she was
I'm not-
she was farting this
I am
entire
not
time.
like the
And she
farting-
saw the best scapegoat of all time. Like, this guy's sitting
Fat
there. I'm gonna
burrito guy.
pin it all on Max.
Well, and if someone goes, like, to Max's point, if someone goes takes a huge shit in the bathroom and it opens, she's like, "Oh, this fat guy next to me is farting."
Yes.
Especially if you got a fat guy next to you farting.
He's
Yeah.
very easy,
Right.
easy person to pin something like that on.
All right, Max. Well, you're dismissed for now.
She did it. It did feel a little mean at times.
I mean, yeah. That.
Italians, you guys don't look after each other
Texting
anymore.
the husband.
Yeah,
This is the fact that.
she was.
Look at his pants. When he gets up.
She also
He's
said
just- they're fart pants.
She was having very important text conversations regarding the Eagles, and Max very
look at
easily
the
could have
fart
seen all
pants.
the
I
information.
think you could see a fart coming out of there right now. Okay. Anything else in the sports world that we got to do? We got to hit before we get to who's back.
I always love big episodes that we have with big interviews, and then we just go completely off the rails, and first-time listeners have to listen to Max's fart escapade.
yeah. Like, listen, he doesn't fart that often, guys.
I love Max.
Yeah.
I'm very glad that Max flew from
One
New
good,
York.
I had one good day on this show. I had one day on Friday of people.
Oh, yeah,
Of
because
pe-
the baseball video.
The baseball video. People were finally giving me compliments, and now it's just tomorrow. Is
You
just
shouldn't
gonna be
have told us
fucking-
that we hope we have a really safe flight. That's really the moral of the
That's
story
just
here.
honestly terrible luck. Like, I feel people shouldn't. Like, you can't script getting sat next to a little reporter that's a friend of the program.
I know
Yeah.
it's tough.
But also, maybe you should have recognized her
And not
and
farted.
been a little more formal.
Maybe you
and
could have said hi.
avoided it.
Hi,
Yeah.
hello, hey. I just so you know, I'm gonna.
You literally just said he's like, "That's my nightmare." Like,
Yeah.
But if I was sat next to her, I'd be like, "What's up, Diana? By the
I
way,
would've been
I'm
like,
super
"Hey,
hungover.
Diana, great
I
to
just had to
see
eat this
you."
burrito. I'm really sorry. Whatever
I'm
happens,
gonna
like,
be farting.
There's sometimes where I sit next to people, I'm like, whatever happens, like, I apologize if I talk in my sleep, because sometimes I talk in my sleep. So you can get ahead of it.
Yeah.
And at least then, if she was texting PFT, then she's just kind of a scumbag. But
You should have. You should with one hand on the burrito, the other hand you shake her hand. You were like, "Listen, this is gonna be a fart factory in a minute. Sorry about that."
Diet Coke, please.
Another
would've-
one.
I would have simply paid for her upgrade to first class, so
Yeah.
she didn't have to sit next to me.
Yeah. It's tough.
Or complain, be like, oh, I can't believe we're sitting next to the bathroom. It already smells.
Yeah, it
Oh yeah,
smells.
put that in her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely
That's
not
just
the
a
burrito.
fact. Like
No,
that bathroom. The bathroom did smell.
No, Hank's
burrito
Hank's
is what
right. That's
kills 'em, though.
like literally gaslighting.
burrito-
Be like, oh, it smells so bad after that guy walked out of the
Yeah.
bathroom, doesn't it?
The burrito is the game changer. If you
But it
didn't
was
have a burrito, if she didn't see you have a burrito, you would be able to get out of all this. But you're in jail. You're in fart jail.
Yeah. It was but it was panic. It was like I got to
Let's
make
say
this flight. I
he's
got
in
to
the
eat
gas chamber.
something.
Yeah.
It was, I mean, Hank, you know, like getting to the airport and you got like 10 minutes until I had like 5 minutes until boarding, and I needed the Hank. What you gotta eat?
I'm telling you, I've done this probably hundreds of times. It's just not sitting next to a reporter that's a friend of the
Yeah,
program.
like what the fuck? How?
There's
What are
people
the
out there-
chances?
I've said many times there's people out there that have like texted about me and like the person on next to me on this flight.
Yeah.
Because I talk in my sleep and I
Yeah,
fall
you
asleep
do.
on every flight, and so I wake up and
And
I'm
you
like,
throw up.
fuck. What was I saying in my sleep?
This
I don't
was
know.
actually-
And you're
I-
not going to tell me, and
to
we're
be
just
fair-
going to go on our separate ways.
This is probably the worst person for you to be sat next to today
Literally.
in the entire world. Like out of 7 billion people, it's fate.
Yeah. All right. Let's do Who's Back of the Week, and then we'll talk to Max and Memes at the end for the Grammys. Who's Back of the Week? Brought to you by our friends at Coors Light. Hanging with friends and family to watch the big game is the best, but as the game heats up, it can get intense. That's why Coors Light has that signature ice-cold refreshment to keep you feeling chill. For the big game, stock up on Coors Light and choose chill. You might even remember an iconic beer train that is known for spreading good vibes and Coors Light to those who need it. After 12 years on hiatus, Coors Light Beer Train is coming out of retirement for the big game, cracking open a ice-cold Coors Light, listening to that sweet sounds of Love Train. Nothing better when it's time for a refresh. Just open a Coors Light. I know I'll have a couple Coors Light during the big game. It's basically the nostalgia train for me. It's hit me. Having that train come back in our lives. Coors Light, the coldest, best beer in the world. One of the best commercials ever created. It's back. There's only one beer out there for the chillest big game, and that's Coors Light. Stock up or get Coors Light delivered straight to your door with Instacart by going to CoorsLight.com/take. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. CoorsLight.com/take. Go right now or order it on Instacart. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. When in Vegas, go ahead. Crack open that Coors Light. Hank, your Who's Back of the Week?
My Who's Back of the Week is Shane Gillis,
That was
Yeah.
mine as well.
fellow stand-up comedian.
Yes.
He will be
Both at the top of your game.
he is going. He got announced to the SNL cast. I believe it was 5 years ago. He got fired from SNL 5 days later, and now he has risen to the top, become more and more famous, more and more popular. Now he's been asked to come back and host SNL this Saturday.
It's the best.
It's awesome. And it reminds me of when Norm Macdonald got fired from SNL back in the day. And then a year later, they hired him to come back and host the show. He had the best opening joke in his monologue ever. He said, well, 12 months ago, I was so funny that I wasn't even allowed in the building. And now they want me to host the show. So either I got way funnier in the past year, or now the show just sucks, which is like the perfect way to roast him. I hope Gillis does something like that. I'm sure that he will.
He is. So Shane is a friend of the program. We're gonna have him on. We've almost had him on like 7 times, but our scheduling has been screwed up. We actually might try to get him on this week. If not, he's coming to Chicago in a couple weeks. He has, though, a little bit of an issue at hand because we oftentimes make bets that we then, I guess I've never had to cut off my pinky, but someday I might have to. Shane did say a few years ago that if he ever hosts SNL, he's just going to Bud Dwyer it on his monologue.
Yes.
You don't know who Bud Dwyer is?
Yeah.
It's a politician who shot himself in the head, in the mouth, committed suicide live on TV. So he said that he was going to do live from New York, this gun in my mouth. And then so now people are like, are you going to do it? It would rule. I don't want him to die.
No, I don't want him
but
to die.
But it would also rule.
Maybe some great special effects.
Yeah.
Put that into place.
Either way, it's like the ultimate win. Like SNL has completely cratered and bottomed out. The crazy cancel mob went after him in this one little piece of time, and flash forward 5 years and he is the most famous, the best comedian going right now. And they're like, you know what could save our show? Shane Gillis.
I want to know why he agreed to do it because I'm sure he has a reason. I'm sure he has something planned for it. But if I were him, I would be like, fuck you guys.
But he can now say fuck you guys on their show.
Which would be great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is going to be great. So
Also,
I'm pumped for him.
21 Savage. I don't know if you guys saw this last week.
Yes.
He was on Aiden Ross's stream and basically got caught cheating. Like, he was cutting cards. They were doing a card game. Him and like one of the guys in his crew basically, marked cards so that they could cheat. It was on a live stream with 100,000 people watching. So everyone in the chat was just like, he's cheating. Like, he's clearly cheating. The chat caught it in real time. They went through in real time. And were like, dude, these cards are cut. It was like super awkward, super viral, but now he's going to be on it too. So it's like it's ripe for jokes. It's going to be it's going to be one of the biggest SNLs.
This will be the most watched. I'm going to watch. Yeah, I haven't watched
smart.
SNL in years.
It's going to be a funny stand-up show. Unfunny stand-up show Tuesday. Finally here. Coors Light. Going to be drinking a lot of Coors Light on Tuesday.
And you can buy a pay-per-view to watch it. $4.99.
You don't have to.
But
you should.
because
But you shouldn't.
because honestly, Hank was so good on Wednesday
Stop.
that he's gonna crush this, and you guys are gonna want to see it. So make sure to buy.
And
I've seen a lot of people being like, "This is bullshit. You're charging $4.99 for this," and I agree. Fuck that. Like, it's bullshit.
You were so good.
Well,
man.
here's what I'll say: if
you shouldn't pay like us charging you,
they should get you to host SNL. You were so funny.
If we hit a certain amount of pay-per-views, I've decided that I'm going to give Hank a certain amount of money to play blackjack with in Vegas, and maybe we'll make a video out of it. So,
or just not buy, but that's
or you could buy it, and Hank could play some blackjack, high stakes blackjack,
or you could just not buy it.
or you could just buy it. Do buy it.
Tuesday, I think 7 Vegas, 10 Eastern.
I think we're going to smash a watermelon.
Yeah,
Because Hank called PFT and I today. And
FaceTime
it
audio
was-
to us, which, by the way, in the history of the podcast, I don't think we've
I
ever
almost
done a
FaceTime
3-way
video.
FaceTime call.
I was in the middle of packing, like
Same.
panicking, trying to get out. And Hank called us and was like, I'm thinking, I was packing and I'm thinking
Don't
this
spoil
guitar
me.
thing we were going to do. Like, I don't really know the song that well, so maybe we'll do something else. PFT and I texted right after. Hank just was packing and was like, I don't want to carry a guitar. And so he tried to like call us and say, I have this great idea where it doesn't involve a guitar. You were in the middle of packing.
I'm
I
still
could
getting
tell.
a guitar. No, I'm still playing guitar.
No,
Okay.
but the whole thing was like you texted us to be like, I don't really want to pack this guitar, so I'm gonna call the guys and be like, hey, what if I just didn't bring the guitar?
Yeah.
Well, no,
that's why I got off the
it's-
phone as
it's-
fast as possible. I was like, whatever, dude. I don't care. You clearly don't want to bring this guitar.
You guys are involved. I wanted to get your approval. I didn't want you to come and be like, wait a second, what about what we were supposed to originally plan? So I was just confirming because I'm, diligent.
Yeah. You were just trying to find an excuse to be like, I don't want to bring this guitar.
Well, the real issue is that I was going to have to Uber to PFT's and then get the guitar case and then go to the airport.
No, it's very clear you didn't want to do the guitar.
I'm
I
playing
stand
guitar.
by
That's
it.
I'm buying a guitar in Vegas. There'll
Okay.
still be guitar, which
Okay.
might get smashed.
Okay.
I don't know.
All right, PFT, your who's back?
My who's back of the week is drug use.
Ooh.
Performance enhancing drug use. There's a new Olympics coming out. I don't know if you guys have seen the news about this, but it's an all steroids Olympics.
I love it.
That's going to happen. It's called the Enhanced Games, right? And it's being developed by Christian Angermayer. These are all like private equity guys that are doing this, and Peter Thiel, the guy from PayPal, and they said just as the Olympic Games were revived and renovated in 1896 for the Victorian world, the Enhanced Games is once again renovating the Olympic model for the 21st century. In the era of accelerating technological and scientific change, the world needs a sporting event that embraces the future, particularly advances in medical science. And therefore, they're starting the Olympic Games where every contestant is going to be allowed to dope, which means we're going to get all kinds of crazy records. We're going to have a bunch of freaks running around out there. The Russians will probably dominate.
It's going to be awesome.
Tristan Thompson will be allowed to play basketball.
This is going to be awesome. They have to have a home run derby.
Got to do a home run derby.
Have to have a home run derby.
Home run derby would be important. And the guy that they used to make the announcement is a 100-meter sprinter, and he has a time that's faster than Usain Bolt. But he's like, but they wouldn't count. He acted like he got canceled for using PEDs, which is very funny. But yeah, we're going to see some crazy fucking times.
I love it.
It's
I'm
going to
all
be
in.
fantastic.
That sounds way better than the regular Olympics.
I'm going to watch hard.
We gotta get Billy in.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
got a billion. Okay, my who's back of the week is college basketball in general. We had a great weekend of college basketball, ton of awesome games.
Everybody lost.
Duke sucks. But in specific, Robbie Avila from Indiana State. Indiana State's really good. So I noticed this guy probably 3 or 4 weeks ago. He's a big dude. Maybe not the most cut up guy in the world, but he's good.
He's very
good at
Indiana.
basketball. And he's got rec specs. And he is, if Indiana State gets to the tournament, which they are the best team in the Missouri Valley right now, we could have like this guy could like capture the hearts of America.
Yeah, he's next. He's next up for sure.
Yeah, I'm hoping. I love college basketball all year round, but I went to UIC versus Southern Illinois with my son on Saturday, so I was just hoops all day.
I saw one person, I forget who it was, so I'm sorry if I'm not giving you credit, on Twitter. They said that guy's nickname is now Larry Blurred.
Oh,
because he's got like the foggy goggles.
Yeah, I think Matt Jones also said that people were calling him Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Oh, I love that.
That one's good too.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Yeah. So Robbie Avila is going to capture the hearts of America. We need Indiana State to get to the tournament.
Yes.
Do you know that Indiana doesn't play Indiana State because they just embarrassed them every time they play them?
I did not know that.
Indiana State, I think last time they played them was like 2017 and they won by like 20.
Damn.
So Indiana's just scared of them.
The old school Indiana State jerseys are so fire too. The light blue ones.
Yes.
Those are some of the best uniforms in
Sycamores.
sports.
Yeah. So, and Indiana basketball's in a bad spot right now. I mean, I will admit that a lot of the Indiana basketball discourse that I get is through Dan Dockich's Twitter, and he's just having a constant meltdown about it, and it's fun to watch.
Yeah, I would say Dan Dockich is one of my big sources. The other big source I have is Big T, so I get a heavy dose of Tennessee propaganda all the time. Dalton Connect is fucking awesome. And Ziegler, I've liked Ziegler for the last 2 years because he's a short king like myself.
Yeah.
I like the Volunteers. Volunteers and Cougars. Those are my two teams.
UConn keeps winning. They just went down Stores South, dominated at MSG. It was a great weekend of college basketball. Villanova got another big win. And Purdue beat Wisconsin. I'll admit that. Purdue's very good. Zach Edey's just too tall. I go back and forth because college basketball to me is a lot of like hating guys year over year. It obviously has changed in the past like 15 years. So I hate Zach Edey, but I also respect the fact that he's been around long enough that I've gotten my hate up to such a great level.
Yeah, it is.
It's like it's nice.
It is nice.
And I just
for
keep
sure.
like banging my fist, being like, "This fucking guy is too tall."
Yeah, like having 39-year-olds such as ourselves developing these intense rivalries with 18, 19, 20-year-olds.
Zach Edey's like 28.
He's pretty old.
He's old.
He's so big, and when he moves, it does. I always say it does look like there's somebody inside of him controlling his limbs with levers.
Yeah,
like a big brain inside of his chest, being like, "Okay, move your right hand now, move your left hand now."
Also, Baylor, whoever made their new arena, which looks sick. I don't know how they fucked up the camera angle. It's basically the nosebleeds. I've never seen it. Like, I just don't understand how they could do that. They made a new arena and they just forgot that they have to televise.
Make it easy on TV. Vandy's like that too. Vandy's a weird arena.
Washington as well. Okay, should we do it? Should we get to Jameis? Is it time? I'm going to say it's one of the best interviews we've ever had because Jameis is that electric of a person. Before we do that, PFT, why don't you tell us who we're brought to you by?
Jameis is being brought to you by our great friends over at Quest Nutrition. We've got all the Quest Nutrition stuff over here, right here in the studio in Vegas. It was founded in 2010 with the goal of hacking one problem, to create a high-protein bar that wasn't packed with net carbs and actually tasted good. The first Quest bar was hand-rolled in a kitchen. Now Quest has over 65 products ranging from bars to chips to candies. Quest is constantly searching for new ways to make your fave foods Questified. From bars to chips to cookies and candy, Quest continues to make protein-forward foods that aren't packed with net carbs and sugar, but are always packed with taste. It's athlete-worthy nutrition, but these snacks aren't just for athletes, so even we can snack deliciously while still getting our macros in. The snacks are for everyone because they satisfy your cravings while still helping you stay on your quest. Quest supports you on your quest, delivering great-tasting food that you can make part of your daily workout or your daily life. I love Quest bars. I've been eating Quest bars for the last 14 years. I love Quest. Delicious. They taste good, and the chips are also fantastic. Chips are great. Fuel every adventure with a tasty snack or 2 or 3 from Quest Nutrition. And now, here's Jameis Winston.
Okay, we now welcome on a very, 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 very special guest. It's been a long time coming. It is Heisman Trophy winner, national champion, Pro Bowler, and also just one of the best teammates ever. That's our guess, but I think we'll find that through this interview. It's Jameis Winston. Jameis, thank you for coming here. We appreciate it. You flew to Chicago to come on this show. So first of all, thank you, because we've wanted to have you on for a very long time, and this is a thrill for us to have you in studio.
No, I'm grateful to be in y'all presence. I mean, I've heard very first time I heard about part of my tape was Ryan Griffin, who was a quarterback with me in Tampa, and he always told me hey, Dan loves you, like PFT, like they're all pulling for you. So I'm just grateful to be here in this beautiful studio, man, and I just got so much respect for what y'all doing and the audience that you're inspiring and influencing. So it's an honor.
I love it.
Thanks, Jay.
And also, just for people who are listening, if we don't know what the Super Bowl is yet, because we're taping this in mid to late January, we're going to run it Super Bowl week. So if we make a statement about one of the teams, then it's like, what are you guys talking about? That's the context behind it. But yes, thank you for being here. I don't even know where. I mean, there's so much stuff I want to talk about.
There's a lot. Just like, how are you feeling right now? How's the health?
Oh, yeah.
So I know that you had the vertebrae issues, you had some tendons going on. So how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm healing. Like, I think that's like one of the biggest things that me and Nadia talk about this offseason, because it's been 3 years in a row where I've been injured. You know, I've been not where I want to be heading into the offseason. So a lot of other people like PTs and athletic trainers, they had most of my schedule because I'm doing rehab. I'm doing I have to be at this location for an extended period of time just to really do the due diligence of the process of healing.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited and grateful that I get to attack this offseason healthier and be able to grow.
Yeah, you were playing with back fracture at one point.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Was there even a doubt that you were like, I'm still playing, like I got to get out there with my guys?
Well, I believe it's always that warrior mentality. Like, once you get in between the lines, I think a lot of players deal with so much that it's just it's second nature just to go out there and battle and go out there and give your all, because we all know that these opportunities don't last.
Right.
So I would rather risk everything for my brothers and be out there and take advantage of the opportunity that I have than to be just, not doing it just because of a little pain.
Yeah.
And I think that's just a credit to really all the athletic trainers and the doctors that help get you back on the field.
Yeah.
But it's also a credit to the mental toughness that these guys have day in and day out.
Well, our theory is you're one of the best teammates from everyone we've talked to. Obviously, the end of the season, you made some headlines with the last game in Jamal Williams. Did it feel good, though, seeing all your teammates come to your back? Because it was like tweet after tweet and people commenting, being like, we ride for Jameis. Like, this was a team decision. We love our guy. Right. It had to feel pretty good, like, seeing that.
Yeah, it was I was grateful that my boys, they rode with me, but like they see me every single day. They know the intent of my heart, and I went and approached, some of the higher ups in the organization just to get their perspective and talk to them about it. And they really handled it really well, having conversations with them, because again, they know my intent. They see me working with the practice squad receivers on off days, to ensure that they're going to be prepared if their numbers call. They see me working with the young DBs, making sure that they know how the quarterbacks on the other team or the offensive coordinators trying to attack them in certain situations. So I think they know the intent of my heart. So when you are in a building with guys and you are battling with them and you go through a full season with guys, when you have an opportunity like that, I feel like that was one of the most unique opportunities that really the NFL has ever seen.
Yeah.
When you get
ball at the one.
The ball at the 1 yard line with the significance of your team and a brother that you are looking for. And that's just what I am. I'm all in on increasing the people that's around me. Mm-hmm. So when we have that opportunity, it's never out of disrespect. It's never out of strife. It's out of like, man, this is love. It's a trust and commitment that I have with my brothers, and I'm so grateful that we were able to just continue to show how connected we were as a team through any type of adversity, because we wanted to focus on the win.
Right.
That was a great win to finish the season, because we were playing for a lot. That was a playoff game,
right, in
our eyes, because we didn't know what our future held after that.
Yeah, and credit to you, by the way, for that reporter who you handled that well. When you're like, no disrespect, you guys got a little no disrespect off, because he kept on being like, I thought it was disrespectful. It's like, well, I didn't.
Well, you gotta respect people's perspective. Like, that's just how I was raised. Like, I'm gonna respect any perspective that you coming off from, but I know what my intent was. And I think like sometimes we are so conditioned really conditioned by facts, circumstances, and situations that we're like, it's out of tradition for that to happen. It's out of tradition for you to run a play out of victory. And I do believe like that was the biggest, that was probably the largest thing about us running a play out of victory. And I think it's behind us, but I believe like if I would do anything, I would tell the guys like, hey, we probably wouldn't do it out of victory.
Yeah, line up regular.
Yeah, line up regular. But the thing about the play is we are in there having a conversation in the huddle, and the defense knew.
Right.
Like my right guard, like they asked us, "Are you taking the knee?" My right guard, Caesar, he's like, no, "We're not taking the knee." Like they knew, so they were prepared. It wasn't just like, okay, they're not even getting in their stances. But at the end of the day, I'm a forward thinker, and we have to put that behind us and keep going. But I'm grateful that I got a chance to address that, man. Because not a lot of people understand, again, the longevity of a season, the work that it goes into, especially when you got a guy that led the league in touchdowns, 17 touchdowns last year with one team. In his first year, he's making a change in his life. This is his first time, being able to get in the end zone. So that feeling of, again, trust and commitment as brothers was amazing.
Yeah, it was great to watch. And, as Big Cat said, your teammates all had your back afterwards. They were like, it was a team decision. We did it for the right reasons. And I think when people ask you about it, they try to make you feel bad about the decision. But I know that you did it because, like, the things you asked Jamal Williams to do this year that he's not used to doing, and he did it as a good teammate. I think, you said it best. There was a video that went viral the other day. You said, King the man, right? Yeah. And so that's what you're doing. You're trying to help out your teammates. So you're looking forward. And you got a big offseason in front of you. I know that you love New Orleans. Yeah. You've become like a New Orleans guy. Are you planning on staying in New Orleans? Are you planning on spreading your wings, going somewhere else, seeing what the market has to offer you?
Yeah. The biggest thing about my love for New Orleans is this is, I feel like, the first city that truly embraced me. Just who I am, what I stand for, how I move. And I think it's just like the South, like that Southern hospitality. I'm from Alabama, so grew up watching Drew Brees, grew up watching Aaron Brooks, the early years of the Saints, and just saw how they grew. So when I was able to get thrown into this environment, I was just like, man, I had so much gratitude to be here because I am 5 hours from home. My wife's side, her dad's side of the family is from New Orleans. So I instantly felt a connection with this city in the way that they represent, their guys, the way that they bring culture.
Yeah. Like, it's a different country. New Orleans, you go to New Orleans, it's a different country. It's the coolest thing in the world because it's unlike any other place in America.
It really is. Yeah. Like when we was talking about Bourbon Street earlier. When you're like, man, like, where am I at? Yeah. But in terms of this off season, I feel like I've played every role that a quarterback can play with the New Orleans Saints. I've been a starter. I've been a backup. I've been someone to help, bring up some of the young bucks. I'm very intentional with everything that I do. So wherever I'm at, obviously my main goal is to be a starting quarterback in this league, and when that opportunity presents itself, that will be what takes me away from any place, because that's my dream. That's my goal. My dream and my passion is to win a Super Bowl, lead a team to the Super Bowl in any way, any shape or form. So I'm definitely able to do those things, from a behind the scenes perspective. But I think just the hunger of a competitor wants to be out there in between those lines, wants to be out there having the opportunity and doing his best to lead his team to the promised land. Like, the Bible talks about Moses and Aaron, and how Aaron was a great, brother for Moses, but Moses is who gets the stories. He's in the
starting
Bible.
Quarterback.
He is the prophet that they listen to. Aaron was a great help. And he lived according to his purpose. But I want to be, I want to have that level of significance. Yeah. And everyone has their own story. Everyone has their own calling and purpose. But it's different when you're that guy. Yeah.
Moses was him.
Yeah. If you have two Moseses, you don't have one.
Yeah. Moses was that dude.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
one of one.
All right. So a story that maybe gets misconstrued. So I want to hear it from you. Before you got LASIK, were you playing quarterback blind? Because that was when it came out that you got LASIK and you're like, now I can read license plates and now I can do all this. Like, hold on, was Jameis actually like the greatest quarterback ever because he couldn't see and he was still putting up crazy numbers?
Yeah, well, I had astigmatism, right? But my vision wasn't. I wasn't blind. You know, I was like, I think I was like 60-20 in my right eye, and I was like, 40-20 in my left eye. So I wasn't blind.
Right.
And that's why, like, in college, everybody used to give me for the squinting.
Yeah, you
know
squint.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The squinting. But I was squinting all the way in high school, you know, and this was like my sophomore year where I had to go and get a prescription for reading glasses. You know, my vision went bad, but I was having these migraines and pinkies was going on, and you know, we went to the doctor and they was like, well, you know, it's because you're straining with your eyes. I was like, what do you mean I'm straining my eyes? You know, because I could see very far away, but when things got up close, like it was tough. So reading and like studying, like I would get migraines and it would be very bad. So I think that's where when I got to the Bucks, I was like, I was coming on my fifth year option, and I was like, man, if I can do anything to enhance my ability or grow just a little bit, if having perfect vision is the thing that's limiting me from that, I'm going to go get LASIK. You know, and then I did the research about, you know, how it lasts for like 25 years and you just got to go and keep getting. I was like, 25 years, like my NFL career, I'll probably be, you know, a GM by then, you know? So this is worth it.
Yeah. Could you notice the difference right away?
Instantly.
Yeah.
Like, man, like when I was up under the thing, like it was kind of weird because, you know, I didn't feel it, but I could smell my eyeball burning.
Oh, geez.
You know what I'm saying? Like cause they did it with a laser, and like I could smell. Like no one has ever smelt burnt eyeballs. You know what I'm saying? So like you can only imagine like that type of, you know, smell that is. Yeah. So when I smelled it, when I got up, you know, the doctor, you know, anytime you wake up and the doctor is smiling, like, and he has his mask on, but I can see a smile.
Yeah.
Like he's like, I've done this amazing work.
Yeah.
You know, and that was just, I can see clearly now the rain is gone. You know what I'm saying? Like I was just like this is amazing.
It cured Jameis Winston's eyes.
It's
the funny part.
Yeah.
The funny part is like I had to wear, you know, PFT shades.
Yeah.
You know, for the first 6 weeks.
Yeah.
You know, really first 3 days.
Yeah.
And I had these bifocals on and
the old people glasses. Yeah. They're like blind people glasses. It's always good to see a doctor like celebrating after a surgery.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, okay, that's
like
a good sign.
that's confidence.
Yeah, that went well. Yeah.
Like that's world class. I know the job was done well.
Yeah.
The first time you stepped on a field after the surgery, were you like, this is a lot easier?
Well, the depth perception was the biggest thing. You know, I didn't even realize, like, because my whole thing, like, I can see big figures like coming at me and like reading coverage and just seeing how, and that's more mental with pre-snap reads and just seeing the rotation and things of that nature. But I just feel like the depth of a linebacker, like 8 yards and 12 yards, is completely different. You know, and when you're able to identify and confirm that someone is dropping at a shorter depth than really sinking back, you're able to trust that throw and, you know, and confirm it and let it rip. Versus when you're just dropping back and you're just like, I feel the rotation, I feel the depth, like, but I trust in my arm more than I trust in and can confirm the depth of a linebacker dropping or the width that a safety is getting. Now it's just like it's no second guess. There's no like I said, no second guessing. It's just trust and confirm and let it rip.
Yeah.
So that was the biggest improvement.
When you played for Coach Arians, we've had him on the show a couple times. Great dude. I think he might be the one person in the world that loves the deep ball as much as you do. You guys both just love to air the ball out. What was that like learning from him? Because he's been called quarterback whisperer, but also his offense is weird where in your first year in a system with him, a lot of times there's so many options that the receivers have that it takes a little bit to get on the same page. But what was it like working with Coach Arians?
Yeah, it was an amazing experience working with him because he was actually the first person that gave me this vision of being a Super Bowl winning champion quarterback. He used to have these camps in Birmingham, Alabama, that Nadia's husband, Otis, my trainer right now, Otis Leverett, used to put on at this place called Sports Blast. And I went there 2 years in a row, and I won an MVP, you know, and he would show me his ring, and he would let me know, like, hey, you're going to be a great quarterback in the NFL one day. And I was like, hey, Coach, I appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? Like you a freaking offensive coordinator for, at that time, Mr. Pittsburgh Steelers that he wanted with. And I was like, man, I'm grateful for that. So when he got into Tampa, I was like, okay, this is it. Like, this is who I've been I've been molded to play for.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He's the one that gave me this vision. So I just think his perspective of really just making the defense stop you, like not surrendering to what you're getting, but like, hey, we're gonna attack you, like, because that's what the defense does. Well, the defense are reactors, but when they blitz, that's a form of attacking.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So his philosophy is like, we're gonna make the defense have to stop us. We're not gonna focus on what they're doing and make our offense built off what they're doing. But I really spent a lot of time with Clyde Christensen and Byron Leftwich. So I feel like BA was in that role where, you know, he's bringing the mentality, he's bringing the system. But man, Byron, he really did his thing.
Yeah.
You know, in terms of just calling plays, in terms of like he was the coordinator running meetings. Like, so being able to not only get coached by someone that was who I had on a high pillar, you know, that inspired me, but seeing a quarterback who's played in this league, who was coached by BA, you know what I'm saying, who I admire. Like, everyone, when you think about Byron Leftwich, you think about the courageous drive he had
Marshall,
in Marshall with a broke leg.
Yep.
You know, so it was, you play for bigger, you can never play bigger than yourself. But with emotions and mentality, you always have, like, you're looking for a certain edge. Like, why do I want to fight for this guy? I'm going to fight for Byron because Byron played this position.
Yeah.
Byron has been in my shoes. You know what I'm saying? Like, he knows exactly how I feel. You know, why do you want to fight for BA? I want to fight for BA because BA inspired me to do this job. He confirmed that I could, you know, have this opportunity. And I can't forget Clyde Christensen. And people don't realize about Clyde. I feel like that was my best technique year. You know, it was an amazing year. You know, I led the league in passing yards, and I led the league in I was second to the MVP in touchdowns. MVP was Mar Jackson that year. But Clyde Christensen, who trained Peyton Manning for all those years at Indy, Tom Moore, who was the offensive coordinator with Peyton Manning. So the level of gratitude that I just had, who BA brought in, you know, you see when I left, they won a Super Bowl, is because BA brought in that culture, and he was preparing the Bucs to ascend. You know, obviously he has a larger role in Tampa Bay, but just the people that he surrounds his player with. I was just thinking about the doctors that he brought in, you know, the recovery mechanism that he brought in, the strength coach Anthony Paroli that he brought in. Like, him coming from Pittsburgh and seeing Indianapolis, like, he brought that Super Bowl winning culture back to Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
And I was grateful to work with him.
When you got a guy that believes in you, that has that type of pedigree, then you want to live up to his expectations, right? It's like, since you said it, I don't want to disappoint you, so I'm going to do everything I can because now you've made me believe in myself, and I want you to be right about me, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and I think that works both ways, especially when, like, I've been doing a lot of stuff just on mindfulness of learning to be more self-aware and understanding how to convey my emotions. And I believe, like, initially when I first got into this league, I was a people pleaser, you know, just because, like, man, my dad coached me in Little League, you know, so just my early years of being a football player, you know, I wanted to please my dad.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I want to make sure every coach that I've had in my whole life, I view from a lens of my father, you know, because I respect my authority, you know. Every time I say that, you know, I think about South Park.
Yeah.
Respect the authority, you know what I'm saying? Partner. But anyways, like, so that's just how I was wired.
Yeah.
You know, so when you are in an opportunity where, you know, you got an authoritative figure that you trust, that instills that trust in you, and you're a person that's a people pleaser, you're going to do everything that they say to a T. So when you run a meeting and someone says, risk it, no biscuit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm here to risk it.
Yeah.
Sometimes the biscuit, you know, kind of gets away from you. But it was, I think, like you said, PFT, when you have people that believe in you, and I think that's what I'm looking for, you know, with a job opportunity.
Yeah.
You know, someone that believes, you know, that I can lead their team to a Super Bowl. And obviously that comes with actions.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's why this offseason is so important. You know,
Yeah.
That's why I take pride of being a great teammate, because when you're able to act upon what you want to achieve, that's how you truly obtain success.
Yeah. So you mentioned baseball. I want to talk baseball real quick. You were a great baseball player. You loved playing baseball, I assume, because you played it in college as well. Do you think you could have played in major leagues? Like what were you throwing?
I do. So at the end of Florida State, I was topping out at 98, but I said 92, 95, and man, I miss baseball so much, and I truly believe that me not playing baseball did not allow me to achieve certain athletic movements on the football field that I was when I was playing baseball every single day, really from a hidden perspective.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how much thoracic, like lumbar rotation that I was not able to be as powerful in because I was a switch hitter.
Right.
So when you in the cages and you batting from the right side, taking, up to 500 cuts, on the right side and then 500 cuts on the left side, when you're doing that, like think about your thoracic rotation.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you moving a lot, and you look at the I would say the most prolific quarterbacks in the league now, they have different arm slots.
Yeah.
They have an uncanny ability to throw in different situations with their body being contorted from a different way, from a different plane. So I feel like that I had to focus more on, doing T-spine rotations and practicing yoga just a little bit more to get that rotation. But it's different when you have a different sport.
Yeah.
That's allowing you to do those movements.
It's a hot topic now too with like kids in specialization, and it feels like most people who make it to the pros are like, no, let the kids play all the sports.
Right.
It will teach them something that they'll pick up for whatever sport they want to go forward with.
Right.
Because just focusing on one sport, you're taking away all these different skills that they might learn in baseball or whatever. So do you think you would have played in the big leagues?
I do believe that I would have made it to the show.
Do you think you could maybe second act? Double Dion? You like Dion?
Listen, I promise you I believe in myself.
Yeah.
Any time of the day. But, out of respect for the people that still put in the work,
Yeah.
To make it to the show. Baseball is one of the most failing sports there is.
Yeah.
Out there, obviously, golf is very defeating.
Yes.
At
yes.
times if you don't practice.
Yeah.
But baseball is the scenarios that you're put in. I feel like, especially when you talk about kids specializing on certain things, it teaches you different disciplines.
Mm-hmm.
When you think about a pitcher, right? As a pitcher, your job is to, hit the mitt, right? But literally, it's you and the ball,
Right.
and that is it. Like they say, it's you and the catcher, but the batter has a say so.
Yeah.
And it's you and the ball. It's about your location. It's about, okay, let's take a calculated risk here. Okay, I know this guy, his hot spot is high and inside, right? So instead of throwing a four seam that's just gonna be flat and let him, hit his pitch, you throw a two seam, so it runs in a little bit more on his hands. So he thinks he sees it coming. Boom, you get his hands. Like it's very calculated things between that as a batter, right? When I think about a batter, first thing I think about is a quarterback. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know what the pitchers do. I know what his stuff is, right? Quarterback. I know what a defense's lead coverage is. You know what I'm saying? I know versus a different front. I know what I'm probably gonna get. I've done studied the different tendencies of the pressures that they like to bring at a certain time. But as a batter, you like, okay, I watch film on this pitcher. I know he likes change ups, low and away. With one strike. So I'm gonna prepare for that, but I have to react to the fastball, right? Mm-hmm. So when I'm sitting out behind the center, like okay, like I know that the Vic Fangio defense is gonna show a too high shell for the majority, but once I get to snap, I have to again trust and confirm like, oh, I have rotation. All right, well the rotation is to the strength. Okay, it's cover 3. So boom, my eyes start here.
Yeah.
And as a batter, you think about a quarterback, you have the same amount, not really. Probably less time as a batter because you have to react to the ball, but you don't have Jadeveon Clowney and Myles Garrett and Michael Parsons rushing you.
Yeah.
So when you think about those disciplines that baseball teaches you and how you can relate it to football, how you can relate it to boxing, in terms of like being in a pocket, being able to take purposeful strikes, as a boxer. When you think about Floyd Mayweather, people know him about his defense, but when you look at his strike, like his strike accuracy, like he's landing a very high percentage of his strikes. When you think about I think in today's game, quarterbacks are having such high completion percentages is because offenses are created more for the quick game, for throws behind the line of scrimmage that allow people to catch and run. And we think about boxing, those are those jabs.
Yeah.
You know, those are those jabs. But the ability to hit, the ability to knock somebody out, the ability to hit a ball 60, to throw a ball 60 yards down the field, that is, that's the dagger. That's the stake in the heart.
Yeah.
So I think these disciplines, and I'm so happy that you brought up the specialization. I think you learn so many different experiences in different sports that you won't be able to really learn in life until you experience it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we've seen some of that in your famous workout videos that you like to post online. We're big fans of workout videos. I know that sometimes you post them and you're like, yeah, people are going to laugh at this one, but it's funny, and I'm doing this with a purpose. My favorite one, I think, is the one where you drop back and you have a baseball bat in your hand.
Yeah.
And then you're in the pocket and you just swing a baseball bat from the pocket. You're like, that's just a dude that loves sports right there.
Yeah.
Or the blindfolded 3-point shot that you made with a football.
Yeah.
That was a good one. What's
Towels in the dog,
the towels
in the backyard.
Yeah. What's your favorite one that you put out?
So, my whole life, I've always got this, I'm sure you tried to do that.
Yeah.
Or like, oh, you doing this like on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I'm very intentional in everything that I do. So when I'm doing something, I'm all in.
Yeah.
It's not jokes. It's not fun and games to me. This is my work. This is my craft, right? This is my passion. Like I said, like Bruce Arians inspired me to be a Super Bowl winner, but I've been training for these moments. Like you don't spend 10 years in the NFL for fun and jokes and games.
Right.
You spend 10 years because you love the game and you love the people. You love everyone that's involved with that game. Mm-hmm. So these drills that I do, I'm making these drills up based off of what I'm experiencing on the field. You know what I'm saying? Again, I didn't continue to play baseball. So how can I enhance my torque? How can I make sure that my hip to shoulder dissociation is being detailed? Man, I'm gonna get in the pocket. I'm gonna simulate with my helmet. I'm gonna take my drops and I'm gonna take a swing.
Yeah.
Like that. Those are things that happens. Big shout out to C.J. Stroud in the prolific year that he's having. When C.J. Stroud is taking swings, baseball swings on the sideline, it's magic. When C.J. Stroud is shooting basketball like before the game, it's magic because this game is predicated on what? Winning.
Yep.
You win, ain't nobody making fun of no jokes.
Yeah.
This is amazing.
Yeah.
Like look at the technique that he's using when he's swinging that bat.
It's so true.
Yeah.
It's so true.
So I definitely embrace, the laughter.
Yeah.
Laughter gives you life, and sometimes I could be funny, but I also embrace the grind. I embrace like the thought that me and my trainer put into these workouts. I embrace the lessons that we learn, because we paying attention to feedback. Like how can you get better if you don't understand why you're doing something or you don't gain perspective? We're always pushing to be greater than what we were.
Yeah.
If you're not trying to get better, like you definitely getting worse.
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
That's well said.
So when I approach the off season, that's why I'm having meetings with Nadia, and that's why my assistant is traveling with me. You know what I'm saying? Because I still got to get my work in.
Yeah.
Just because I'm grateful to be here with y'all, but things are still being done. Like do you believe? Let me ask you, what do y'all believe made Barstool such a household name? Is it because of the people that you had on the show, or is it because of the undercover work that y'all do every single day before y'all even got to this platform to allow you to be who you are?
It's a good point because we have a dream job. We have the best job in the world. But I do think there's sometimes where we don't give ourselves enough credit, where we work really hard and we work long hours, and it's fun. That's the problem, is like when we say work, it's like we get to go watch 12 hours of football, and everyone would want to do that. So, but yeah, I think we do put in that effort because we always want to be giving our best effort. Like we don't want to show up and not be ready for doing a show. So yeah, it's true.
And there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes and went on behind the scenes before we were at this platform. Like the work that nobody really sees when you're grinding on the way up. You spend more time like learning your craft, detailing your craft on the way up to prepare you for once you get to that level. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff that people I guess haven't seen, but I guess a lot of that work was also watching football.
Yeah, and it is funny because I always think about like people who have made it in life. The one thing I always don't like is that they kind of forget about the lucky breaks along the way. And we've had a lot of lucky breaks. You know, we've had things break our way, different paths that we've taken. We went left, we went right. So, like, I also just admit that like we have luck. You know, there's anyone who's successful has gotten a lucky break at some point, and to pretend that didn't exist, that always bothers me. Where they're like, "Well, I was always great. I was always going to be great." No, you had something happen in your life where a lucky break propelled you even further. So yeah.
Yeah, you know, I challenge you on that take. You know, I believe in 4-leaf clovers because I've seen some.
Okay.
So I know luck can be real, but I'm not really a big proponent of luck.
You don't think there's any luck that is like?
Well, I don't believe that anything's happened. I don't think there's no such thing as a coincidence.
Yeah.
I believe it's intentional. Everything that we're doing is either enhancing where we're at right now, either we are being a person of increase, or we really just failing.
Yeah.
The day.
Well, okay, so for example, like your relationship with Jimbo Fisher, which is an incredible relationship. We had Jimbo on. You guys won a national title together. I'm sure you were recruited a bunch of different places. There's a chance that you go somewhere else, or like you know, the decision is different. There's a little bit of luck involved that like you and Jimbo were the perfect marriage at that perfect time in both of your careers. You know? So it's like it's not saying that you're lucky, it's that there's little things that happen along the way that you're like, you look back and you're like, oh, that was really good that it happened exactly that way.
Yeah, no, and again, like as I said, I don't disagree.
Yeah.
With your method. I just believe that Jimbo and it was already planned.
Yeah.
You know, like I think the biggest thing that people miss, and this is what social media gives us, it gives us instant access to everyone's lives. But I think people miss the people factor. Really being around other people and building on those connections that you already have.
Yeah.
Or those connections that you have yet to make. And I think when you are around people with similar energy, right, with a similar mindset, those energies, they work towards each other. They go together. Jimbo had a lot to prove.
Yeah.
Right. Jimbo was, he was coming from LSU. He was filling in the steps of Bobby Bowden, the legend coach. And this is Florida State. Like, I get it. Florida State isn't in the SEC, but historically, this has been a dominant college. And for you to fill up the shoes of Bobby Bowden, and for people to always connect you with Nick Saban your entire career, you have a chip on your shoulder to say, like, hey, I'm going to accomplish something that, again, I'm going to have my Moses moment.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to be Aaron. You know, it's nothing wrong with being Aaron, but I'm going to be Moses.
Yeah.
And when I got with Jimbo, like, Jimbo expressed that to me, because unlike a lot of people just, and it's not judging, but some people aren't wired the way that others. You hear the term, like, we ain't cut from the same cloth.
Yeah.
Right. I instantly knew Jimbo and I were cut from the same cloth because Jimbo wanted a championship.
Yeah.
And he was going to do whatever he could to get that. I'm a kid from Alabama. I'm 35 minutes from Alabama. Listen, people, when I committed to Florida State, the things that happened to me and my family was unbelievable. Living in the state of Alabama, 35 minutes from Tuscaloosa. I mean, my mailbox, getting beat down. You know what I'm saying? Thank the Lord, Home Depot had these mailboxes you could stick in the ground. I felt that, man, and this is something that's serious. I felt like one time, well, not one time, I still don't have grass that grows in my front yard at my hometown house. I still don't, because I felt like somebody poisoned my grass.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Harvey Updike.
Yeah.
He's the guy that poisoned the oaks at Toomer's Corner.
And that I don't wanna blame Harvey or anybody, but I believe like something happened. Like, how does my grass just stop growing?
Yeah. I think Harvey got you on.
And I smelled gasoline.
Yeah.
When I got home, like me and my dad, we talk about this. My grandmother working at she worked at UAB Medical West, God rest her soul. And she was an avid Alabama fan. And like fans would send my grandmother hate mail. My grandma, you going at grandma?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, just because her grandson ain't going to Alabama, like that is the stuff that you go through, and what it does is like I read this book called Callous on My Soul by Dick Gregory, and it just basically a biopic of his life and some of the things that he went through and, you know, some of the influential people that he was with. But what he talks about, basically the premise is that all of these things that he went through, you know, they built the callus.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of people look at calluses as like, you know, oh, I got a callus on my hand. But what is that? Is building another layer.
Yeah.
Is making that area stronger. You know what I'm saying? So all these things that I went through, it made me stronger. So same with Jimbo. Jimbo, you know, Ethan, his son was, you know, going through a lot with Fanconi anemia. You know, all the things that he does with the Kids First Foundation. Yeah. So you just think about the level of perseverance that you have to have every single day because you're looking in your son's eyes and seeing the pain that he's going through, right? And you have to claim, you know, 110 other kids as your son,
right?
Because you have to lead a university like Florida State after Bobby Bowden, under Nick Saban. So you're like, man, I want something for myself.
Yeah.
So that connection they had, really the biggest thing he did was his best friend was Mike Martin Jr., you know, the son of Mike Martin, the legendary coach. Shout out to Meat in 11. Mm-hmm. But they had a meeting with me. That's a big thing. Your football coach, man, you believe in me or much, you're gonna let me play baseball. You're gonna say that the baseball coach is your best friend.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And we sitting there eating together, breaking bread together, so I get to talk football and baseball.
Yeah.
Like what did I want? What did I want to accomplish in college? I wanted to win a national championship, right? And if I could do that in football and baseball, yes, I'm going to Florida State.
Yeah.
They're the only ones that said that you could play baseball, right?
Well, LSU, they said that I could play baseball. Alabama actually said that I could play baseball. Alabama, I really felt like the recruitment that I had at Alabama probably helped their baseball program a little bit because they, like, after they didn't get me, they started building these big baseball facilities and stuff like that. And I'm gonna hold that to heart. I'm gonna say it was because of me.
No, that was because of you. Yeah.
So name the stadium after you.
Yeah.
The only team that said that I couldn't play baseball was Florida.
Oh.
The Florida Gators. And I'm going to give y'all a quick story. I went to Friday Night Lights. It was like a camp at Florida. It was me, a guy named Zeke Pike, who was an amazing guy, and I just love how his life has changed and how he's serving the Lord and just doing great things in the community. Shout out to Zeke. But we were there competing, and I forgot who it was, who was the offensive coordinator. But anyways, I'm at Florida, right? And we on like this recruiting trip, and man, I win the MVP of the camp. I show out. You know what I'm saying? I walk up to, you know, that's probably why I don't know his name because he told me that I couldn't play. But this is the offensive coordinator of the Florida Gators. This ain't even the head coach. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even talking to the head coach. The offensive coordinator told me, you know, you ain't gonna be able to play baseball here. And I said, oh. I said, okay. I said, well, I probably won't go here. You know what I'm saying? Like, literally, like, the Florida years, like, when you think about a kid from Alabama, like, I'm thinking, like, okay, one of my guys was, like, I looked at, you know, we had Jamarcus Russell, we had Pat White, we had Phillip Rivers, and these are Alabama quarterbacks that did not go to an Alabama school. So you have these people, and you just look at the course of what they've achieved in their life. And Pat White, like, he did great things at West Virginia. Yeah. Phillip Rivers, he's a Hall of Fame quarterback, you know, one day. And Jamarcus Russell, he was the number one pick, you know. So he did some great things at LSU, won a national championship there. Well, he didn't win a national.
He beat, I think he beat Notre Dame.
Yeah. Well, he did some great things at LSU. So I was like, man, I'm going to take this chance, you know. And at this time, this was when Alabama was the traditional pro-style offense where their quarterback really wasn't making an impact on their team. They were surrounded by great talent and a great defense. So the opportunity to go to Florida State, team up with Jimbo, who's an offensive mind, and be around those players and dominate and go against the SEC. Do you know how great it was? And it was crazy. It was great to be Auburn in the national championship.
Yeah.
And one, it's an SEC team. I wish it would have been Alabama. That would have been, you know, that probably gave me a little bit more street cred.
Yeah. It would have burned more of your grass.
In the state. Yeah. The whole house probably would have been gone.
Yeah.
But funny story about Auburn. And this is just this is the mindset that people in Alabama have when it comes to their football teams. I just won the Heisman, and I'm walking in the grocery store. Me and my friend, one of my best friends, Tanner Brown, we're walking in like a Dillard's or something. And this nice old lady comes up and she's like, hey, like, don't I know you from somewhere? You know, that happens a lot. And I was like, you know, maybe, like, how are you? Like, do you need any help? Like, because this is an old lady, you know. She's like, no, I'm good. She was like, Nick Marshall, right? And I said, yes, ma'am. You know, Nick Marshall. Like, and I'm like, it's nothing against Nick Marshall, but I play for Florida State. I don't have on orange. Listen, I'm at the mall. I don't have on orange and blue.
Yeah.
I promise you. I got on regular clothes, so I can get it. But I don't look nothing like Nick Marshall.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And, like, for her to attach, like, when you're Alabama, you attach greatness with if you go into Alabama or Auburn.
Auburn, yeah.
You know? Like, so I missed out on that. So I'm sorry to all of my Alabama people that I didn't go to.
What year was the camp? Because I just looked it up. It's either Steve Adazio or it might have been Charlie Weiss who told you can't play baseball.
So I think Charlie Weiss was the head coach. Look.
He was offensive coordinator for Will Muschamp.
Okay. No, this was 2010.
Okay, so it was Steve Adazio. Be a dude.
Not Steve Adazio. It was another. This guy ended up going to Auburn to be the offensive coordinator at Auburn too.
Big mistake by him.
Massive.
Big
Huge.
mistake by him.
Yes, it was a huge. But it wasn't Steve Adazio. Look, what was the quarterback coach's name?
I'm gonna look it up right now.
Remember that Auburn Natty? That was on your birthday, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
You won the national championship on your birthday.
Yes.
If I were you, I wouldn't believe in luck either. Like that doesn't feel like luck. That feels like it was
supposed to happen.
It's supposed to happen.
You know, before the national championship game, you know, when you are on that high stage, like a lot of people try to contact you and have conversation, build relationships with you. And there were two people that I was able to build a relationship with during that time. One of those people was Bo Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And I'm gonna tell you about Bo Jackson. And another of those people were literally just one day relationship with this person, because he got back to me and really my wife, and that was Eric Thomas. Eric Thomas, man, literally called him while I was out in LA. He reached out to me, man, and prayed for me, gave me some words of wisdom, and that was basically all the motivation I needed to go out there and lead the troops.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you get a call from Eric Thomas, and like just what he stands for, the motivation that he's been inspiring me and my wife, well, now wife, but my girlfriend at the time, our whole life. Like, so shout out to ET and the work that he's doing. But Bo Jackson.
Yeah.
Bo Jackson,
Okay.
Auburn guy.
Auburn guy.
By the way, the guy was Scott Loeffler. We'll leave him alone.
It was Scott Loeffler.
Yeah.
That's exactly who it was. It was Scott Loeffler. And he ended up going to Auburn.
Yeah, he did the next year.
So let's talk about Bo Jackson.
Yeah.
One, there are two people from Bessemer, Alabama that are that I would see made me and inspired me to be who I am. And one is D'Amico Ryans. He actually was my first signed football.
Oh.
Yeah, my uncle had coached him in high school, really coached him from Little League all the way up. So shout out to D'Amico in Houston, what he's doing there. And Bo Jackson. Both of them from Bessemer. Bo Jackson is from Bessemer, Alabama. I've met D'Amico. I talked to him, and Kerry Rose too. I don't want to leave him out. But the first time I talked to Bo Jackson was after I won the Heisman. And you're from Bessemer, Alabama. Now, I know he lived in Chicago and all that, but he was calling me and like he was like, hey, you know, what's up, Jabbo? And I was like, that ain't my name. I told him, like, what's up, Jameson? And I was like, that's not my name. But I'm grateful to be talking to you. Man, this man, he called me. I don't know what booster from Auburn was in his pocket or in his ear, but he would call me at all times of the night, like wanting to talk, saying like, hey, this Uncle Bo, you know what I'm saying? Like just calling to check in on you. I'm like, Uncle Bo, like I ain't talked to you in my whole life, and I'm from your neighborhood.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You calling me right before the national championship game. And listen, when is the next time I talk to Bo Jackson? After the national championship? No. Like after the national championship game, I didn't hear from him again.
Yeah.
Next time I heard from him was at a Panini signing. You know what I'm saying? Like say, hey, what's up, Uncle
Now you
Bo?
beat him.
Like,
Yeah.
how you doing? How you
That's
doing?
how they do it at SEC
You know,
football.
It's trying to get in your head a little
when
bit.
I look back at it, I was like, well, you know, I kind of give credit to Uncle Bo because like he was doing everything he could for Auburn.
Yeah.
Like, he knew I loved him.
Yeah.
And he gonna call me at all times of the night,
Waking you up, yeah.
inspiring me to whoop his team even more.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's great. Oh
So
my
that
gosh.
was so funny, man. So shout out to Bo Jackson. One, just D'Amico was a great baseball player too in high school. Like, so you got those two people from your same city And I ain't talking about like you know, a suburban area or like on the outskirts. Like, man, we are from the same city.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We probably were born at the same hospital.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And you got two people that like, how can you not be inspired to be your best self when you got two people that already paid the foundation for you?
Yeah.
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 Maybe the best athlete of all time in Bo Jackson.
Yeah.
You like
Talk about a baseball and a football player.
Yeah.
Like,
you know, like the only person you can say is Prime.
Yeah. Dion.
You know what I'm saying? That's the only person you can put in that.
Yeah.
You know,
To be that good at both. I got
or Charlie Ward because he hooped.
Yeah, that's
And
true. That's
the
true.
crazy thing about Charlie Ward, where people don't give him enough respect. He won the Heisman Trophy and didn't get drafted.
Yeah.
yeah, he played in the NBA.
It's crazy. It's crazy. He'd get drafted today.
But hold on. But still got drafted in the first round
Yeah,
in the NBA. Okay, come on now.
Yeah.
Think about that.
That's incredible.
Think
That
about-
really is.
Think about what Pat White would have been in today's game.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know.
You have all these quarterbacks that were ahead of their time,
It's true.
you know what I'm saying, but didn't get the opportunity because of other things.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We don't know why.
what was the guy's name? He played at Florida State. Roll, was it Myron? Roll?
Iron Roll.
Yeah.
So he was an elite athlete, and then what's he now, like a heart surgeon?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a surgeon, and I believe he's actually he's a government official in is it Panama? What it's not Panama, but some what
in Boston that
he was at he was there, but he was a government official from his native country, the Bahamas.
Yeah.
I think I thought he did some work in the Bahamas.
I think so, too. Yeah.
he's
I
a
remember that.
neurosurgeon.
Yeah,
He was a great player too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He was
unbelievable.
really, really good.
Yeah.
We play this game with everybody that comes on the show.
Okay.
I've got 4 cities, just random cities, and you tell me which one you like the best, which one you could maybe see yourself living in. Seattle, Atlanta, Washington D.C., and Foxborough, Massachusetts. Just 4 random cities. Random cities.
Totally random.
Which one of those cities?
I mean, they sound random.
Yeah. They're very random.
Oh, in Denver. In Denver.
In Denver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was waiting for that one.
Yeah. Random.
You know, anyone that accepts me.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
You know, but I would just say this: Atlanta. I grew up an hour and a half from Atlanta. Like, I'm from Birmingham, Alabama. You know, I think that would be a beautiful time for just my family. The accessibility that it'll have for my, you know, other family, my surrounding family, that would be beautiful. But I feel like I'm the attraction. I'm the thing. Like, I'm the city that is gonna bring, you know, joy, love, trust, peace, integrity to any location that I'm at, because I'm a man of increase.
Yes.
Right.
Like
So
that.
I am the city.
Yes.
So that's powerful.
Yeah.
It really is. It really is. So wherever it may be, that city is going to be getting someone that is ready,
Yeah.
a kingdom man that is prepared to grow everyone around them.
I want to sign you right now.
Yeah.
That's inspiring.
I am inspired
Yeah.
right now.
All right. I have an awkward question, but I have to ask it because our fans would be very upset if I didn't.
Yes.
Jameis 1 of 1. The Twitter handle.
Yes.
Are you familiar?
I am.
He's a very big fan.
He is.
He loves you.
Yeah.
Very big.
That's it. He just loves you.
Mhm.
Is it good to have a rider like that? Because he loves you.
And that's what I mean. Like, it's some stuff that's just not luck. When you have someone like, I never met the guy, you know, never been on the phone with the guy. Her husband wrote a book with him.
Yeah.
And like for the book with him, and I never had any interaction with him. So when God send you an angel like that like, man, this man be backing me.
Yes.
Like, and my dad, like, he the one that be retweeting. You know, like, I'm not as active on, you know, on social media, but like, I'm gonna look at my dad. Like you retweeting this, like, cause he don't know nothing about no Twitter. My dad would call Twitter Tritter. You know what I'm saying? like, you know. Hopefully, like, luckily it's X now, so you can't mess that up.
Yeah.
You know, like, it was amazing to see, because when this book came out, my trainer, like, we training, like, we preparing. I didn't know he's for a book, and then the book come out, and now I got people asking me like, "Hey, is this Jameis's burner account?"
Yes.
And like, first of all, I don't have the time, you know, to represent myself like that on a social media base. Like, if I'm gonna represent myself, I'm gonna do that in between the lines.
Yes.
You know, but I just view it as, you know, an angel in disguise.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful for Jameis one-on-one, and wherever you at, I appreciate, like, he send me emails of encouragement. Sometimes he'll shoot to me like you. He would send me random cities, you know, that I need to be contemplating on. You know what I'm saying? And he'll have everybody on the line. He'll have Nadia on the CCs. I'm just like, okay, like, thank you. You know?
Yeah, he rides, and for people who are unfamiliar, you can buy the book on Amazon. I own the book. It's Jameis Winston Derangement Syndrome: How Media Bias Causes Us to Overlook the Start of a Hall of Fame NFL Career. It's great. It's a great book.
Thank you.
He rides for you. I need a Jameis one-of-one. I need a guy who just riding for me.
We all do.
Yeah.
We all need those people that just got our back, you know, unconditionally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he gets in the corners of the internet and he just fights.
He has stats that I've never seen before.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm grateful for him.
Yeah.
I need to take him to a negotiating meeting.
Yeah. Serious.
I mean, he'll pull up your best stat. He actually probably should put together some pamphlets for you when you're hitting the free agent.
They're ready.
Yeah.
oh yeah, no, he doesn't have to put them together.
Yeah, I
He's
remember
sleeping on them.
So the last season that you did play, and you played to like your fullest extent, or before the injury, you had 14 touchdowns, 3 interceptions in New Orleans. Like, you can play, you can still start, and I hope that another team sees that and brings a city to their city, because the NFL is more fun when Jameis Winston is a starting quarterback.
That's a fact.
For sure. Do you have a game or a single drive or throw that you look back on and you're like, I played that? That to me is my calling card. Like, this is what I can bring to you.
It's a number of games that just come to mind. The game in the LA Coliseum against the Rams. My rookie year against Philly, tied the rookie record for touchdowns. And Philly was my favorite team growing up. Ironically, Andy Reid, I just loved him, and Big Donovan McNabb.
Yeah.
But I don't really feel like I played my best game yet. You know, like I'm such a in the moment type of person. Like I'm starving for that chance to do it again. You know, and I think when you look back on my career and when you look back on certain games, like just like, you know, the final play is behind me. Like, what's next? You know, what can I create next? Like, who can I bring joy to next? You know, it's like, how high can I go? Like, if I'm sitting here, like, first of all, I'm grateful for all my experiences. I'm grateful for those games that I did that have the LA game was really fun, just because that was my third time being back in LA after we lost to Oregon. So I really wanted that game, you know what I'm saying, against the Rams in 2019. But this is what I do. Like, this is not who I am, but this is what I do. Like, it's my passion to go out there and bombs over Baghdad, you know, throw 5 touchdowns, you know what I'm saying, and lead that Super Bowl winning drive with 13 seconds or a minute and 13 seconds on the clock. Like, that's what I've been trained to do. And trust me, it ain't gonna be by coincidence when I'm in that opportunity again.
Yeah.
When I'm awarded with that opportunity again.
I hope you get in that opportunity.
Yeah.
We'll play this clip and we'll go mega viral.
Absolutely. I'm gonna
Like, he saw it all. Yeah.
So one thing it's pretty clear about you believe in yourself, and you have that internal confidence, and you know what you can accomplish. What was it like kind of taking a step back and consciously saying, I am willing to be a backup quarterback?
Yeah.
Because you don't talk like a backup quarterback.
Right.
You have that faith in yourself. You're ready to be the guy. What was it like an adjustment period that you had to deal with in New Orleans where you had to dial it back? Were you just like, if I'm going to be a backup quarterback, I'm going to be the best backup quarterback that the league's ever seen?
Yeah. Well, that faith in myself comes from my resilient faith in my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. That's where that comes in. And I know, and I trust in him. You know, Proverbs 3:5 says, trust in the Lord with your whole heart and lean not into your own understanding. Right, so I trust in him wholeheartedly, and no matter what condition, circumstances, or facts there are surrounding who I am or what I do, right, that does not define me. You know, I don't let anyone else or anything define what my next move is of who I'm going to be or what I'm going to accomplish. So, but I would have to say my first opportunity to be a backup quarterback was a very great gig. And I give a lot of credit to Sean Payton for this, because I think that was a year where it was kind of back to college where I had to make a decision for, my career, for where I would go. And that decision came clear when I talked on the phone with Sean Payton and got a chance to work with Drew Brees. Like, again, this is a guy that I looked up to, got a chance to meet a couple times out in San Diego, just through a church, rock church. Pastor Miles McPherson had George Whitfield, actually one of my old quarterback coaches. He had set up a meeting with Pastor Miles McPherson in San Diego, and Drew Brees was the guest speaker one day, and I got a chance to meet him out there. So that was amazing. But anyways, being able to work with Sean, who is a fearless, passionate competitor, who really, like, Drew was the Hall of Fame face, the Hall of Fame quarterback, and the resilient, surgical player. But that was Sean Payton's culture at New Orleans Saints. That team was a reflection of who he is, the tenacity. Like, Sean Payton was the man of the city. Like, he's the one that embraced the culture of New Orleans, and he gave that to me. I remember a story with Sean, and I'm gonna get to the backup. I don't like talking about being a backup because I don't like that place.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. Even though I cherish every place that I'm in.
Right.
But Sean, man, we about to be in the airport, and it was during COVID, right? Hurricane just came, so we're leaving through not privately, not not charter, but like a regular airport. Like, we checking in through MSY in New Orleans, and it's a fan, right there, and he's asking for an autograph. I got my headphones on, I can't hear, and Sean tells the fan, "Get out of here! He's not finna sign your autograph." Like, and he kind of shoos the guys off, but he looks at me. He's like, "We're not here to kiss any babies. I don't want you. I don't want you here to be a politician. I want you here to be a quarterback." And that stuck with me because that's how Drew approached the game. Drew wasn't in it to be liked by everyone. Drew had a chip on his shoulder because one team didn't believe in him.
Yeah. I think he literally did have a chip on his shoulder.
Yeah, he did.
The MRI
showed. Literally, he had a real chip on his shoulder. Mm-hmm. But one team didn't believe him, so he was gonna make his next opportunity, the spot, and that's what he did. So being able to be in that building, I just had 1 year with him, but be able to serve Drew Brees, like, that's what people don't look like. I served Drew Brees for a year. You know what I'm saying? I saw him getting banged up and having to overcome things, and sending him plays and sending him suggestions. Like, this Drew Brees, like, Drew looking at me like this, like, come on, James, like, I don't need your help. I'm talking in means, and like, there'll be times where he'll just peek down there. I'm just like, okay, let me be quiet, like, but this is like, that's the love that even Drew Brees is in the room, and I got love for this game that I'm willing to say something in front of Drew Brees. Like, so I think, again, I've played every role that a quarterback could play to an organization. However, I embrace every opportunity that I get, but my desire and my passion is being a Super Bowl winning quarterback. And you win Super Bowls by being starting quarterback. That's when they deem you as a Super Bowl winning quarterback, when you are starting. Mm-hmm. Even if it's just that game.
Yep.
That's a Super Bowl. They're not gonna say, the backup quarterback. They're like, oh, he won a Super Bowl champion. Yeah. No, Super Bowl winning quarterback.
Yeah, Doug Williams. Yeah. Doug Williams came in as off the bench.
But I didn't put Doug Williams because he was the first. He was the first African American quarterback. He broke barriers. Mm-hmm. His resilience, and I was blessed because DJ Williams was a quarterback coach at the Saints.
Yeah, and Doug worked in Tampa Bay, right?
Doug worked in Tampa Bay, yes. But that's barriers, right? Like, so when you achieve something like that, like, I got the vision. Like, I've already seen it happen.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, because obviously he was a starter, and then obviously the next season he was a starter the year before. Yep. And the next season, some things had happened. But when his opportunity presented himself, he's just not a Super Bowl winning quarterback. He's a Super Bowl MVP.
And he dominated that
quarterback.
Yeah.
Yes.
Dominant.
Yeah. It was unbelievable. So shout out to Doug Williams, and thank you for paving the way for all young African American quarterbacks.
Yes.
Dreaming to do what you did.
Yes.
Yeah. When you were coming up, did you ever, like, playing ball when you were a kid, did any coach try to be like, I don't know if you're going to play quarterback. Like, can you try running the ball? like being a wide receiver? Did you fall into that at all? Or at the time, was it like you were so talented that they were like, yeah, Jameis is going to be the quarterback no matter what?
Well, when I got to Hueytown, my high school, I started as a freshman, right? But I was competing against an upperclassman that was at quarterback, and we had a good relationship. His name was Wayne Carroll, and he ended up going to receiver, and like almost was all state in receiver. Mm-hmm. So I've never been in a situation where a quarterback told me like, "Hey, you're gonna play a different position." I have played some cornerback and some linebacker.
What was that like?
It was amazing. like I'm a football player.
Yeah,
you know, I'm just
yes.
Like I want to be a Super Bowl winner, but I'm a football player.
Yeah.
At heart, you know. So that's always fun. But no, Wayne Carroll, his selflessness to go and be my best receiver that year, it just I feel like it gave me a mind shift, because like it's like the tables have turned. Like I was the first African American quarterback at my high school, you know. So that was kind of a unique feeling. That was a lot of pressure as a ninth grader, being in this rural city in Alabama. But I think that situation gave me perspective, because I was like, okay, like the tables have turned, but this guy, he didn't complain. Like, we got into a lot, you know, but just because he was an alpha too and I was an alpha, but he did his job, you know. And what did my dad teach me when I, like, from Little League? Like, hey, no matter where the coach push you, this is a big baseball saying, no matter where the coach push you, you go out there and you do your best.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, I continue to carry those values up until now.
So Wayne Carroll was a white guy.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful moment for America.
Yeah.
Rural Alabama, white quarterback.
He was a redhead white guy.
Redheaded,
you know what I'm saying?
really white guy.
Yeah.
And they said, you know what? You look more like an athlete. I'd like you to go play wide receiver.
Yes.
We're going to put Jameis Winston. That's beautiful.
Quarterback.
Yeah.
Running a wing T.
Yeah. R.I.P. racism.
Yeah. There it is. Right.
No, you know, but Wayne's the man.
Yeah. Can we talk about eating a dub?
Yes, let's talk about it.
Oh, you got one up there. That looks good. That looks like a good dub. Want to eat it?
Put it in the oven a little bit more.
When you did that, we've talked to Cam Jordan about it. We talked to some other teammates of yours, and they're like, "It's Jameis. It's Jameis." Like, from the outside world, being like, "Oh, that's weird." Like, we all love Jameis. It inspired us. Mm-hmm. How long have you been eating dubs?
I've been eating W's, since the beginning. It started a long, long time ago, and that's because my last name is W, and the first four letters of my last name spells out wins.
Yep.
Go and fact check me. It's probably right on Wikipedia.
I'll be damned.
But I've been. It all stemmed from one of my favorite motivational speeches, and it all surrounds about, you know, a bowl of. Do y'all remember the soup? The alphabet soup.
Yes.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
I always just talk about, like, hey, we scraping the bowl today. We eating up everything, right? And we only looking for dubs in the alphabet soup. There's a lot of different options out there, but we looking for W's. We eating all the W's in the alphabet soup. But this one game, like, ironically, you know, the true thing happened in New Orleans. Like, it was at New Orleans and we lost the game. That's why, you know, I'm still selling Eat the W t-shirts. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
We've been way bigger. We'd have won the game.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why winning is so important.
Yeah.
Winning defines everything. And you two are winning in what y'all do. And I am
Appreciate
too. I'm winning in life.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Just got to get I will be getting more wins on the football field. But anyways, Eat the W. I'm talking, you know, and I'm inspiring the guys like, hey, like, what we eating today? Like, I already had the alphabet soup conversation early in the year. You know what I'm saying?
Put it in their head.
And we ate the W. I was like, what we eating? I was like, we're eating W's. Like, what this is? You know what I'm saying? It's a W. We eating that W. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I took the W out the soup. I already had the W ready and prepared.
Yeah.
I think it went left when I started actually eating the W.
Yes, I'd agree.
And when I ate the real W, and then proceeded to dap up Deshaun Jackson.
Yeah.
I think that was the worst person to dap up. Because Deshaun from Cali, he already Hall of Famer. First, he don't got no time for no eat the W's. He looking like, give me some touchdowns. Yeah. Give me the ball, Jameis. Like, hey, worry about no eat the W. And when I tried to dap him up, and the eye contact we made, doing that, I think it was a powerful speech. It really
was. Yeah,
man, I was banged up. I had a grade 3 AC sprain. I'm going in. I'm fighting that. Like, and we've been losing. How are we gonna wheel this team to get a win in the Superdome? My first NFL win was against Drew Brees and beating the Saints in the Superdome. So I'm just like, I got good vibes here. You know what I'm saying? We didn't win that game, but I felt it was powerful.
Yeah.
Like when you think about like what is eating a W? It's just winning.
Yeah.
It's doing something to push you towards what you want to accomplish. Like and that's what sometimes it can get misconstrued about me that that I'm a jokester, I'm goofy. Like no, I'm just all in. Like I'm all in for the people that I work with every single day. I'm all in for my brothers, my sisters. Like, man, I'm having conversations with the janitor. You know what I'm saying? I'm having conversations with the lunch ladies. Like, this is not just, that's my family.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We put in too much work not to enjoy what we do and not to express how we feel. Yeah. I think that's a lot of things. Like, a lot of people want to express things with their thumbs. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people want to express things from a facade, like from a story that probably got a green screen behind them. No one wants to express their feelings out loud. No, we're lacking genuine people, like they really speak their truth and have no explanation for it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I don't have to explain to you why I said this. I don't have to explain to you why I did this. Trust that it came from great intentions of my heart, and trust that with all said and done, I got your back. Because again, what I want for myself, I want for you.
Yeah.
So if I'm all in, I want you to be all in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I love that.
That's a leader right there.
Yeah, I'm ready to eat a dub right now.
no,
That is a leader.
It is fair to point out that was the sequel to the Alphabet Soup W.
Yes.
We kind of just jumped in and all we had with no context.
Yeah.
Just eat the W,
Everyone
but
knew.
it was like that. It's like trying to jump into a second movie without seeing the first one. You're not going to understand what goes on behind the scenes.
Like when we make our ad commercial for our Eat the W shirts, it's gonna start off with just a bowl of soup, and it's gonna be a W just floating in the middle by itself.
It just
scoop
it up.
And then like I'm gonna come out of the soup and it's like, eat the W, and then slide back in the soup, and then it's gonna come on. It's gonna say eat a W on the top.
I mean, every other time I eat Alphabet Soup from now on, I'm just going to eat the W's out. W's only.
Only. Why would you eat anything else?
Imagine touching an L. No,
stop that thing.
That's sucker shit. You're vegan now.
So
are W's vegan?
So I've been. There are a couple vegan W's.
Okay, all right, good.
So I always I got this from Indomitian Sue. We're just challenging my body and trying different diets in the course of our off season. So this one time, literally the year after was it the COVID year, Nadia? Was it what year was it? Was it 2020? Where I went full vegan for 6 months, and that was very challenging. Being a Southern boy from Alabama, it was challenging, but it was very beneficial. I went from 250 to 207 in a matter of 8 weeks.
Wow.
Right. And it just was me eating great food, losing a lot of just bad weight. But it was painful because I love to eat. I love to eat meat, and I love to eat good. But I think anything that you can do to, again, increase your status, your health, your brain function to be the best that you can be, you have to do it. So I'm thankful that Indomitian Sue, he put me on, blood work. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know anything about blood work. I just thought like you get a regular checkup. Like now I'm getting blood work, and they got 18 to 50 tubes of blood. I'm like, I don't think I have enough blood to supply. But it's just you always are thankful for new and prosperous ideas or recommendations to better yourself.
Yeah, that's smart.
Mm-hmm.
I should go vegan if
It'd be
I lost that much weight. Yeah.
Impossible to be a vegan in New Orleans, I would think. Just the food down there is just so good.
It's so challenging, but you don't understand like when you have the plant-based diet, you don't understand how much animal fat or animal substances are in just regular vegetarian meals. Like it's in everything. So I went the easier route, and I just did fruit and salads and just a variety of like walnuts, Brazil nuts, pine nuts, like things in that that nature to just help me, not even have to worry about all the ins and outs of like, is this vegan? Like I didn't want to be. I think that's probably why I lost so much weight, right? Because I was I eating enough? Like, I have no idea. I just know that my energy felt the same every single day. I know that I was moving better than ever. And I was skinny, I lost my gut, so I was proud of that. But when it came to, moving in that pocket and breaking tackles, and I was just like, let me go and eat me a nice steak. Or
you gotta get your weight up a little bit. If you were to have like one last meal in New Orleans, what would it be?
Well, I have an amazing chef, Chef Tatiana and Chef Jewel Robinson. They are. Chef Jewel is the mother of famous chef Kwame Onwuachi, who owns Tatiana's in New York, and it was rated the #1 restaurant in the country last year and top 50 in the world.
Is that Nigerian food?
It's so it's really is it Pan American? It's kind of Caribbean and African, but he's like what is his? I think he's is he Nigerian?
I remember I read an article about him.
His dad is
fantastic.
Nigerian, so it's really like a mix of Cajun. It's really like it's really a mix of everything that he's been through. Because Chef told me a story how she sent him to live. Was it Africa or where was it? Yeah, she sent him to live in Africa. Like, so he understood. Like, I think the granddad was a chef. So his granddad was a chef and a popular chef, and that was his mom's dad, right? So it just ran in the family. So he basically took, let's think of gumbo he took African cuisine, he took New Orleans cuisine, he took LA cuisine, and just made it all into his own thing. I have his cookbook. I had to send it to y'all.
Yeah.
Just to get the term of like the type of cuisine is here. But I know one thing. It's delicious.
Yeah.
Right. So no matter what type of cuisine it is, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Right. So my favorite meal would be probably something from Tatiana's. My chef, her name is actually Tatiana, and he named it after her. And he has an amazing short rib there. Is it what is the name of the short rib? Like it's like
just like falls
sounds
apart.
very good. Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like in the vibe there, it's right there in the Lincoln Center. And like it's just amazing.
Yeah. So we got a couple last questions. It's been unbelievable, Jameis. You're an all-time vibes guy. You really are. Like, it's just the vibes are high when you're talking. So this one's from our good friend Stephen Shea, who's a diehard Bucks fan.
Right.
Who this is actually a pretty detailed question, but he said he wanted to know, you played with a lot of great players, but two guys that are constantly overlooked are Levante David and DeMario Davis. Right. Who do you think is more underrated between the two of them? Levante David's been doing it forever.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I don't know who's more underrated, but I know the caliber of men they both are. And I know both of them should be and will be Hall of Famers. I feel like the most underrated player I played with, honestly, that people don't give enough respect to is Mike Evans.
Oh, yes.
I think he's the person that flies up on the radar a lot. I feel like Levante flew up on the radar, but I think like literally he's like fine wine. Him and DeMario, the older that they get, the better that they have been playing.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful for the relationship that I have with DeMario and how he helped increase me with my faith. Like, he's just an unbelievable man, father, and leader. And just being around him in New Orleans was really a treat to my heart. With Levante, the competitor that he is and a man that he is like they're similar individuals, but the way that they approach the game and the way that they prepare is unbelievable. So I'm grateful for Levante because he was kind of like one of the old heads that helped me in the league, helped me move around. Him and Jerry McCoy, were those people that kind of took me under their wing. Jerry McCoy, Vincent Jackson, and Levante kind of took me under their wing and showed me, how to be a pro. Like, what are the things that I need to be doing? So I'm grateful for both of them. But like I said, the most underrated player that don't get enough respect is Mike Evans.
We did a whole thing on it a couple weeks ago where it's like Mike Evans, if you look at it, he is going to be, if he plays 5-6 more years, it will be Mike Evans and like Randy Moss and, Jerry Rice and like T.O. and like this vaunted group of receivers that are just unassailable. It's like these are the top 5 guys, and people don't give him enough credit.
Yeah.
Like 1,000 yards every single year he's been in the league for 10 years.
And you look at statistical things, but when you look at the size, the speed, to bend, how he's running these routes, like how he's creating separation, like he's doing it in a detailed, skilled way. He's not doing it because of his unique athletic ability or his talent. He's doing it because he trains in this way. I really think he's doing it because if you ever looked at his toes, you would see how powerful he was, because his toes look like they just dig in the ground. I'm a feet guy because I wanted to be a podiatrist when I grew up. I haven't achieved that yet, but it's probably gonna come. But anyway, Mike was just an amazing player. And, I played with Deshaun, and I played with another excellent receiver, Mike Thomas. Those guys are both, Mike Thomas and Deshaun, they're both Cali guys, so they love the ball, right? Mike, he don't complain about nothing.
Yeah.
He don't give you no beef. You know what I'm saying? He's just a cool, laid back person. And that's gonna show up to work, do his job, and it's gonna outdo everybody on the field.
Yeah.
Like he's so dominant that he doesn't get the respect that he deserves, because, like you said, like we talk about the stats, but he's been doing this since he got in the league.
It's crazy.
Since he's got, and you leave him off All Pros, you leave him off Pro Bowls and stuff like that. I'm just like, man, like the NFL coaches don't know what they missing with Mike Evans, because those are the men that the NFL, they put on that pedestal, those great fathers, those great men, the NFL Man of the Year. That's another goal of mine. Like people that's giving back to their community, doing it silently, not looking for a pat on the back, but doing it because that's just who they are.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They will put. It ain't by coincidence that they like that either.
Yeah.
They went through certain things in their life that inspired them and influenced them to be who they are. And I just shout out to Mike, man.
Yeah.
It's interesting you brought up the fact that like Cali receivers like the ball. Can you describe like what's the difference between California receivers, receivers from Texas, and maybe Florida wide receivers?
Well, the Cali receivers, I feel like they are so influenced by the lifestyle in California. Like they are born to be superstars, right? So when they are put in an environment where they are the alphas and they are the stars, I think they're gonna take full advantage of that responsibility. So I just think their thirst for wanting the ball, right, whether if it's challenging times, feeling like they're always open, even if they're triple covered. Like I think that's always just gonna be something that they yearn for. Texas, man, I feel like Texas they're so. I feel like the majority of Texas, they're so lifted up through high school in their young days, because Texas, everybody talk about Friday nights, and so they are experiencing an NFL lifestyle in middle school.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's just how big, the stardom and the, you think about Friday Night Lights and all that stuff. That's how big it is in Texas.
In middle school and high school, they have a class for football during school hours.
In middle school and high school, they have hot tubs, saunas, steam rooms, and,
20,000
indoor facilities.
Yeah, it's
They've
crazy.
been pro since they were 12.
We were in Dallas, and I forget the high school that we were at, but this is where Mark Cuban, Jerry Jones, Matt Stafford went here.
Highland Park.
Highland Park.
Yeah,
they got an indoor facility.
Yeah,
that looks better than our indoor facility. Like this is a high school in Texas.
Yeah.
So I think Texas receivers, I feel like they're different, but Mike is different. Mike is from Galveston. I always tell this to people. And this is something that me and my trainer talk about a lot. If you are born around water, like you have a different way of life. You function differently. And I just feel like you function differently because water has no soul. It doesn't discriminate against anybody. You get in that water, it's going to take you wherever it goes.
Yeah.
So I feel like people that are around water, they are very strong-willed. They're one with water. You know what I'm saying? And Mike is from Galveston. If you've been to Galveston is known for, I don't know what they're known for because I'm not from there, but I know they have a beach. You know what I'm saying? And it's not a pretty beach.
No, they're known for oil. There's it's some of the dirtiest sand in America.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's not a pretty beach. So Mike is from that muck.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It might be oil muck.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it's still muck. So he's a little different. I don't classify him as like the regular Texas receivers. But CeeDee Lamb is a Texas receiver. I know he had a dominating year.
Yeah.
Who else is Brandon Cooks from Texas?
Brandon Cooks might be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then Florida wide receivers.
Florida, I feel like, and let me be impeccable with my words. Florida wide receivers are probably the most when you're in Florida and you play wide receiver, I think they're the most savviest receivers, because I believe you ought to, like, it is so many wide receiver coaches in the state of Florida that are working. Like you got Route God, you know what I'm saying? You got Gold Feet Global, and that's just two people that I know that I work with.
Route God, yeah.
I like that.
That's my dog. But they're working on their feet. Like when you look at Florida, they got some of this, they got some of that. But I feel like all of them, they need to get a psychiatrist and just share with them some of the things that they went through. From I'm talking about probably from when they were born. They need someone to talk to.
Yeah.
And that's how I view the Florida receivers. But I'll tell you something about Florida. What people like, and I'm pretty sure Cali's like this and other places. But the lower you go in Florida, the more you get out of Florida. Tallahassee is South Alabama, South Georgia. So if you from like the Panama City, like the panhandle across, like you like an Alabama person, like South Alabama, South Georgia, I feel like Jacksonville, South Carolina, like all that's the same. You know what I'm saying? You're a little wild, but you know what I'm saying? You Southern hospitality. You go down like Kenny Shaw, like is in Orlando, Kermit Whip, like they're whole different people. You know what I'm saying? Then Kelvin Benjamin, who's an hour south of Kenny Shaw, and he's from Belle Glade.
Yeah.
He's completely different. Anquan Bolden, right, a little hour south of Belle Glade. Like he's completely, like these people they're just different. And I'm grateful. Honestly, I'm great. That's why I'm so happy I went to Florida State, because I was able to build relationships with people that were they thought differently, they had different perspectives, and communicating with them for us to win was a challenge. It really was, because I'm a person where I'm for everybody. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes these players, they were for Orlando, they were for Belle Glade, they were for Fort Lauderdale, they were for Miami. You know what I'm saying? More than they were for everybody, just because they're so, I feel like not Miami, but Florida players are so like specifically Miami, they run in cliques. Like if you see one person from Miami, you're gonna see 10 people from Miami, right? And those 10 people might be living in the same house. So when you go and knock on somebody's door saying like, hey, like we finna go throw these routes, on the field, you have to say what's up to the cousin. You had to dap up the auntie. You know what I'm saying? You probably gonna have to, kick some Roman noodles because some kids gonna be running around, before they come out and say they're ready to go throw.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so I think they run in cliques because they function off a lot of community. And I think Florida has a lot of, I would credit the old heads in Florida. How am I defining old heads? I define old heads are people that have experienced high things. I think they do a good job of giving back to their kids in Florida.
Yeah.
Like you see the Ocho Cincos out there working with the young guys. Like you see all the older people that have been there and done that, building up these young athletes that are soon to be what they are one day. So I give that credit to Florida, but I would feel like Florida is definitely the most confrontational receiver out of them all. But I believe that, and I don't, this is my opinion, I believe that Florida receivers have an entire different work ethic and grind than receivers from other places. Right.
Yeah. All right. So I have one last question, Jameis. It's the Rhoback question, rhoback.com. Use promo code TAKE, 20% off your first purchase. Q-zips, polos, hoodies, joggers, shorts, fleeces, vests, everything, Rhoback.com. I have to apologize for something. So during COVID, when there was no sports, I started playing video games on NCAA 2014, I believe it was, the old one. And I'd started streaming it. People were watching. And I got the OC job at Florida State. And it was the last year that you were in the game. And I did have a game I threw 6 interceptions with you.
Yes.
So I apologize. We did win the Fiesta Bowl, though.
Yes.
Okay.
So you won throwing 6 interceptions.
No, I don't think I won that game. I think I lost that game, but I wanted to apologize. Do you accept my apology? I threw 6 interceptions with you.
No, I don't accept your apology, but I'm grateful that you shared that with me.
Okay, all right. That
yeah.
was a really nice way to say, why the fuck did you throw 6 interceptions?
Yeah. You know, I'm very tough on myself.
Yeah.
You know, so I think you have to be able to laugh at yourself, but you also got you got things that you have to like eliminate from your energy.
Yeah.
You know what
that
I'm saying?
game, yeah. It was the ACC championship game against Georgia Tech.
And that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
So once you told me that, once you said 6,
yeah,
that's a number. I believe in numbers. And then you said, and I was like, okay, that's eliminated from my mind. You know, so I don't forgive him.
Okay.
But I'm grateful that he shared that with me, because now I'm gonna be able to process that and move forward.
Okay, great.
But
I feel good about moving on from this. I'm gonna eliminate it from my mind as well.
What about, can we get another NCAA game?
I know.
Like I'm so frustrated that playing Madden is so challenging.
I know.
Right now, I tell my brother all the time, because he's a young up-and-coming athlete, and he's gonna be a beast. Jameis Winston, be sure. Like when I make sure Barstool retweets my last highlight video that I put out of Jameis Winston.
Yes.
Yeah. So I told my brother, I wish I would have played Madden more growing up and won Super Bowls on Madden and visualized that, because I spent so much time winning Heismans and winning championships on NCAA.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't play enough Madden.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so now I'm going back and I'm having to take my rating down from all Madden to all pro, and then I'm losing to all pro. Like, okay, I'm not going to rookie. You know what I'm saying? I gotta go to whatever the next one is. Like, and I'm like, I'm getting these wins, but this doesn't feel real. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And then I play my brother, and he's 21 stomping me. I'm asking, you ask those questions like, I mean, when you picking your team, like you play on all Madden, or you play on all pro. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm all bad. I'm just like, okay. How can I sneak this all pro?
Yes.
In?
Yes.
Do you have yourself as a starting quarterback when you play Madden?
Every single time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. So you have yourself starting. You play as the Saints.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jameis Winston starting,
Yes.
and you're trying to win a Super Bowl. I think you need to just grind at it. The game has become a lot harder recently.
Yeah.
They made it really tricky.
The grind has started, PFT.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like
this
that.
this is very intentional.
Yeah.
Me earning a Super Bowl. You got to see it.
Yeah.
Like,
No, I believe you.
Yeah.
but you have. But you guys, even though you probably can't pinpoint the time, but you saw yourself being in this role.
Mm-hmm.
You visioned it somewhere, and I'm a big, like, I know the Lord has a vision for me, and I have to visualize what I want for myself. Like, that is going to glorify his kingdom by visualizing what I want for myself to honor him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I think in everything that you do, you gotta find a way to experience that. And sometimes it might take 6 interceptions in college, against Georgia Tech. You know what I'm saying? And then you gotta eliminate that and go back to the next game and win the Fiesta Bowl.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I apologize again. It was Georgia Tech. The Georgia Tech official account made fun of me for it. And I might have thrown you under the bus. I said it was Jameis threw 6 picks, not me, even though I was playing the game. I was saying I was offensive coordinator.
Don't worry about that.
Yeah.
I'm accustomed to that.
Okay. Yes. But yeah, I'm good that we could just bury that now.
Yes.
I felt like it was, weighing on me. I
Right.
think it stopped us from winning an Natty that year.
Can you keep us up to date on your Madden progress? I want to know when you win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I will.
Yes.
Because I think people will believe in you too. Once
Starting to click.
Once the world can visualize Jameis Winston win a Super Bowl, then I think that's 6 billion people that will be sharing in that vision.
That
That's going to
energy.
help you. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
No. Okay.
Well, Jameis, this has been awesome. We want you on anytime you want to come back on.
Yes.
This exceeded everything we thought. It's been a long time coming, but this was so great and so thankful that you made the trip because it's so much better in person. So
Absolutely.
thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Dan.
We're fans for life. So neither of us are Jameis 1 of 1.
No.
But we have talked to him.
Right.
So we ride. He sends us out. If he needs to send us out, we'll go muck it up with some
You
people.
need any angels in free agency?
Yeah.
Just
We
say
got
the
you.
word. Say the word.
We got your back.
Oh man, listen. The person I'm praying to, he got me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I'm grateful for this opportunity to be with you guys, and to share this energy. Like, you guys are men of increase,
Yeah.
and that's what I'm trying That's why I am going to surround myself with and be unapologetic for it.
Yep.
Love it.
So I appreciate y'all.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Jameis. Jameis was brought to you by Gametime. It's Super Bowl week. If you're trying to get in, use Gametime. Max got in with Gametime last year, right?
Yes, he did.
Max and Roan went out to see the Eagles play against the Chiefs. It was a great game, and they got in thanks to Gametime. You shouldn't have to worry when you're buying tickets to your next big event. It doesn't matter if it's sports, if it's music, comedy, theater, Gametime's got it all. It's so easy to use Gametime, and the process of transferring your ticket is the easiest of any app that you'll ever use. All you have to do is text it. It's so simple. If you're going to the game with a parent, with someone who might not be super technologically advanced, just send them the Gametime text, and boom, they can get in. Super easy. They've got all the access to all the biggest events. If it's concerts, comedy, music, and yeah, every sport, college basketball, NHL, NBA, use it all with Gametime. Last-minute tickets, flash deals, zone deals. They're easy to find. You can buy the tickets for every kind of event in your area, and they are obsessed with finding ways to help you save money on tickets. They have deals on tickets right up to the start of the event and even an hour after it starts. It's the place to find last-minute seats. You can find those exclusive flash deals and sponsored deals on tickets. And right now, if you're going to the big game, they have a great offer. This is big. $100 off your ticket with code BARSTOOL100. So it's BARSTOOL100. You can use that $100 to get some snacks, ice cold beer, maybe a giant foam finger, anything you like. This offer is valid for new and returning users. So get your big game tickets on Gametime now with code BARSTOOL100. Download the Gametime app or go to gametime.co.
Okay. Wrapping up. I hope everyone loved the Jameis interview as much as we did. That was so much fun. We will definitely have him on again.
He's going to be Moses.
I feel like we could have talked to him forever. We can definitely do a whole other interview. But yeah, he's the best.
Yeah,
he's
he
going
is.
to be Moses. We need him to get a starting job. We need more Jameis.
He was in
Also,
the office for 8 hours.
Yeah.
We talked about it, but
Yeah.
I was thinking back on it because I think that interview was at like 11 a.m.
yeah,
And I think at 5 o'clock,
yeah.
he was like still on the. I was doing something else. I came out of a meeting and went to the golf simulator, and he was just
But it was great.
ripping balls. It was
Yeah.
amazing. Like, he just loved it.
It's nice.
Shooting
Like we've had,
hoops.
Cam Newton and Brandon Marshall, Jameis, Chris Berman, who's coming on Wednesday. Like anyone who wants to come hang out with us for a day because it's not like
Jules.
just Jules not coming to just do an interview. It's coming to hang out, do a bunch of stuff with us. So thank you to Jameis for making the trip for us. So much fun. He is maybe my favorite player ever.
The nicest dude ever.
Yeah.
Nicest dude ever. And now we're texting with Jameis.
Yeah, now he's our boy.
He's our boy.
He's our boy.
A great dude.
Best friends. All right.
Was there anything else that happened today, Big Cat? And maybe pop culture, arts, music, anything like that we should cover?
The Grammys?
The Grammy Awards.
Yeah, no, that's what I said. I said we got to do our Grammys recap.
Yeah, I was setting them up.
Yeah. Come on, Max. Come back. Try not to fart on your walk over here. But keep it about the Grammys, burrito boy.
I'm on Max's side.
I'm not.
I think he kind of got set up by the universe.
I think he.
I'm not blaming Diana for accurately reporting because that's her job to report on things. But this was just like God. You can only point at God and be like, you put me in this situation.
Yeah, it wasn't necessarily like
If
if I wasn't sleeping and I was just like outwardly farting, like that would be bad.
Mm-hmm.
But like, what am I supposed? I don't know.
I'm gonna say that I have no sympathy for Max. This is direct karma for saying I hope you have a really safe flight.
You had a really safe flight.
Yeah, he was fucking around with airplanes, and what happened to him? He ate a burrito, farted his face off in front of a reporter.
Also, I was asleep on the flight today, and the person next to me just ripped open the window in the middle of the flight and woke me up with the sunlight. Kind of a crazy.
Who was next
move.
to you?
Oh, it was me because I was awake because Hank elbowed me as hard as anyone's ever elbowed me when I was asleep.
Also, you're allowed to open up the window shades on
Correct.
the airplane.
Yeah, but not like.
Well,
You opened it too aggressively. Big
yes,
Cat.
yeah. After he aggressively elbowed me.
Also, Hank,
We were
Hank is
40,000
so
feet in the air. There's nothing to see.
happy. Hank is so happy this happened to you, Max. I'm not happy, but Hank is so happy.
I'm
You
not.
were-
I just said
all of
officially.
you were so happy.
We actually weren't 40,000 feet in the air. I know exactly when it happened because I fell asleep before we took off. You elbowed me before we took off, so I woke up.
Why would
and then
I
as we were taking off, you fell asleep, and I opened the window to see what it looked like when we were taking off.
And also learn something about planes. It's a 737. The operational ceiling is usually about 33,000. I guess it could go up to 40,000. but very rarely does that happen. So why don't you look at a map?
All right, Grammys. So Travis Kelce was there to support Taylor Swift?
No,
'Cause she goes
Travis
to every.
Kelce was not there.
What?
Taylor Swift went with Lana Del Rey.
How many touchdowns does she have?
0.
Wait, but Taylor Swift goes to all of Travis Kelce's games.
Yeah, but he's Super Bowl.
Oh,
That's
okay, but
tomorrow.
they're playing it right
but
now.
Is he here?
He's prepping for Super Bowl.
Oh, interesting.
They are here. Well, actually, not.
Yeah,
yes,
no, the Chiefs and the Commanders are
So
here,
he could have just taken a flight right after. He could have just taken a flight right after the Grammys.
I'm just telling you.
Okay,
I'm just
got it.
reporting.
I don't think she has like a
This is a
private
show of
jet or
reporting.
anything
All
like
right,
that
all
she
right.
could put him on.
Oh, this is such a.
All right.
Did Billy Strings win anything?
Nope.
Joni Mitchell's right now
Is that
looking
true? Is that,
great.
is that incorrect? I don't
Joni
know. I
Mitchell
just,
looking great.
That's correct. The Grammys are bullshit.
Tracy Chapman.
Tracy Chapman and Luke Combs did Fast Car. People were liking it on Twitter.
Nice.
One of the best songs of all
Nice.
time.
Yeah, because people were mad that Luke Combs was doing Fast Car, being like, even though Tracy Chapman, I think, said, like, go ahead, cover my song. So now we get the full circle. They did it together.
Yep.
Beautiful moment.
Beautiful moment. Alex Earl was there.
How was she looking?
She was.
What
No
song-
disrespect,
what
because
song- what songs
all
does she sing?
respect.
She doesn't sing.
Braxton Berrios is one of our guys. He's a thirst trapper. His
Correct.
hair, by the way, has been looking incredible.
Well, that's just a double thirst trap.
Yeah, no, they're the hottest couple ever. I like you just nope. I was gonna go down this path there.
Zach
They
Bryan
have really
was
hot
there.
sex together, I'd assume.
Yeah.
That's all I want to say.
I think that they enjoy having sex with each other. They're probably the only.
Correct.
They're probably each person is probably the first person that the others had sex with. That's like, oh, now I get why sex is.
Yeah,
great.
you're hot.
You're hot enough
You're
for
hot
me.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Zach Bryan was there with our coworker Brianna Chicken.
Shout out Bree.
Shout out
She
Bree.
looked great.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. She was sitting like 4 feet from Taylor Swift.
Pretty cool.
I wonder if she said anything about. She was like, "Hey, they talk about you a lot on Pardon My Take."
Pervert my take.
Yeah.
Pervert my take. Correct.
What was Taylor wearing?
A white and black dress.
And she had a watch on her neck.
I
It
did
was
not
set to
notice
midnight.
that.
I love the Swifties who do like the I think they're called TAnon maybe who try to decipher everything that Taylor Swift does. Taylor Swift is the most obvious person ever whenever she's trying to send a message. She was wearing a necklace that was set to midnight.
Yeah. What does that mean? Something happens at midnight. I
It's
wonder.
like she telegraphs all of her stuff.
How many awards did she win?
She did not win Song of the Year.
What?
She did not win
Who
Song of the
did?
Year. Billie Eilish.
Oh, for which
for the
song?
Barbie song.
Barbie song.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
Yep.
Anything
I saw
else?
that. Killer Mike
Yep.
Yeah.
won 3 Grammys.
Run
Yep.
the jewels.
Then got arrested.
Yeah.
That rocks.
That's so
Wait.
awesome.
Wait. What did he get arrested for?
We don't know.
Don't know.
Okay. So as of now, I think it rocks. If it's something really bad, and that sucks.
Yeah. That's good for street cred, but probably sucks for the after party. These
True.
boys are so party.
But it's like it is good for street cred.
Yeah.
Killer Mike's awesome.
Although it's like kind of weird because you saw it was like, you know, they're doing it where the Clippers and the Lakers play. He was just in the concourse getting arrested. That kind of sucked.
It does suck. So it might have been a thing where they'd been looking for him in LA for a while.
Like we know he's going to be
We know he's
here.
going to be at the
Yeah.
Grammys.
Yeah.
Who votes on the Grammys?
I don't know.
The
Hollywood
Academy.
Elite-
Oh,
Is there
Jay-Z.
Academy?
Price Waterhouse Cooper.
Jay-Z called out the Recording Academy for never giving Beyonce Album of the Year.
Respect.
Okay, nice.
Big wife guy. Him,
Yep.
Kyle Juszczyk.
Yep.
Yep.
Taylor,
It's Kanye. It's Kanye.
shout out Kyle Juszczyk's wife for dunking on Quigs.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, by the way,
We stand with her.
Yep.
is she? Yeah,
100%.
I'm a fan of any fullback's wife.
Quiggs is a fucking piece of shit.
Yeah, Quigs is the worst.
Is she? She's not making a jacket, all right? She can't make a jacket for anybody if they're playing against her husband.
I think she already has made them.
Yeah, she's already
Yeah,
made
but
them.
you
There's
can't
nothing you
make-
can
but
do.
that-
can't
but
make
they-
a-
but those-
can't make a new one.
Taylor's not going to wear the same thing twice,
Right. She
True.
never does.
and Kristen can't. Like you can't make something for that.
Yeah.
many. You just can't.
Was it Kristen? Is it Krista?
Kristen
Kristen
Juszczyk.
Juszczyk.
I would wear a Kristen Juszczyk jersey. That's how much I like her work.
What-
Respectfully.
Would it say the full name?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it could even have her husband's number on it and be like a 49ers one.
Yeah.
I just want to call Juszczyk jacket.
Yeah. I feel like that's just whatever. Taylor Swift did announce a new album.
Midnight.
Wait, a new album or is it a cover of her
What
old
was that
songs?
noise?
I don't know. That was
Yeah.
like
Jake, is that you?
that was a boop, boop, boop.
Oh, who here is fucking pumped for the Super Bowl Nerd Nugget sound. I'm
pumped.
I'm pumped too.
I'm pumped.
All right,
Big time.
I'll say I'm pumped.
I'm so pumped.
Well, we're not wearing headphones in this studio, so
Yeah.
I can deal with it.
Yeah.
Well, I'll be pumped.
I'm very pumped.
It's usually the headphones. when I
Taylor
hear it.
Swift announced new. Wait, I just said that.
Yep.
It's called the Tortured Poets Department and is releasing on April 19th.
Okay, cool.
There's a couple
Actually,
good
new
ones.
music for once. That's
Yeah,
There's a
it
couple
sounds like
memes
it's
ones that
new.
are thrown in here.
Okay, give
That
us the memes ones.
Ozempic is a problem
Okay.
because Lainey Wilson, is that her name? Used to have a fat ass. Now she does not have a fat ass.
Okay.
Put it on the list back up, boy.
Okay.
Oprah Wood. That's a
Ooh,
memes one.
Okay.
Okay. Oprah looked good.
You have
Why is that problematic?
just Hawaii.
Okay, Hank, go on.
That's
Piece it all together.
If you know
He's
it-
saying that Oprah started the fires in Maui.
Oh,
you said that.
No, that's what
You said that.
that's what you're getting to.
You said that.
Okay. I love when Hank gets just little pieces of news. He never actually can piece it all together, but he's just like Oprah problem fires. Okay, what else?
I think that's it.
Okay,
All right.
That's
that was a
about
great
it.
job.
Yeah. What?
Good job.
You got one
and
memes?
Max.
Stevie Wonder blonde.
Oh,
Confirmed.
Is he?
Confirmed.
confirmed.
How?
He presented an award to Mariah Carey this weekend, and she walked up, and he left his hand shaking.
Ah.
So Stevie Wonder confirmed.
Well,
Bond?
I still have
He beat
seen
the
a video. I've seen a video where he catches a mic stand as it's falling over. I've seen that.
You can feel that.
He waved hi to Shaq one time. Said hi, Shaq.
Stevie Wonder's the best. I saw him once in concert. It was one of the best concerts I've ever seen.
Yeah,
He's
Songs in the
fucking
Key of
legend.
Life will change your life.
Yes.
Listen to that album.
Yes. All right. Well, good job, boys. Great show. We have something special for the lottery ball this week. We have the Schwam picking a ball every single episode because he was in the office on Friday. Wednesday, we have the Schwam on the show, and we might have someone sitting in Hank's chair to start the show, which I think AWLs will be very excited for. It's Super Bowl week. We're going to go all out for the AWL Super Bowl week, so let's kick it to ourselves back in our studio. Okay, we're going to wrap up the show. We have a special guest on Wednesday. You can see him right now sitting on the couch. Great interview, as always. A Super Bowl tradition with the Schwam. And we figured, why not have the Schwam guest numbers with us all week? So every single show this week will end with the Schwam numbers. We'll let you go first.
So I could pick how many?
Any number. One number. If you get one of these this week,
And
it's
this is a
incredible.
tease for the Wednesday show.
Yeah, this is a tease for the Wednesday show.
Can't tell you why.
Yeah.
22.
22. Okay, I like that.
I'll go 8.
I'll go 71. 40 for Hank.
3.
3 for memes. 18 for Jake. Shane? 21 for Shane.
If you get this, I think we have to retire the ball.
Look at this thing.
I'm not allowed to look. 56.
Oh.
56.
So no one was even within 20.
Nope.
It was close.
Nope. That happens a lot.
It's okay. Love you guys.